Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning. We got the latest government reading on jobs for August out this morning at 8:30. Better than expected. Once again, 1.37 million jobs created in the month of August, topping estimates of 1.32 million expected. The unemployment rate, meanwhile, 8.4% versus an expectation of 10.2% expected. So a little bit of positivity coming into the market here as we head towards the open this morning. Coming off of yesterday's big decline, the Dow was down more than 800 points, or about 3%. The biggest one-day decline since June. S&P 500 lost 3.5% yesterday, and the NASDAQ down about 5%. Tech shares were under pressure, but coming back to the upside here, especially some of the chip makers was noting. NVIDIA, we'll have a look at AMD as well. Also, Apple shares coming back to the upside here. Tesla shares also extending. The slide we saw that began back on Tuesday following the split. We had the offering, obviously. One of the biggest shareholders obviously cutting their stake yesterday. We talked about that. We'll have a look at Tesla shares coming up, and some of the travel names back in focus again this morning. Cruise lines moving higher early on. It's Friday, September 4th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. Pretty negative numbers right across the board here. You can see 1.25% for Hong Kong, Shanghai to the downside as well. More than a full percent. Let's go over to Europe and see how things are shaping up so far. We have gone positive for European markets. They started a little bit lower than this. But moving nicely now back to the upside. Let's have a look at North American futures here. Yeah, back in positive territory. The NASDAQ still lagging a little, but everything else looking good. TSX 0.28% to the upside as we head towards the open here in Toronto. Bitcoin back to the downside again today, extending yesterday's slide. We have crude oil to the upside today, and gold about flat at this point. We had a decent move in gold prices yesterday, guys. Good morning. Obviously, jobs, more jobs. Everybody gets a job.
You got a job, I got a job, everybody got a job. But does everybody have a job? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if these numbers are good, if they're true, if they're not. But regardless, the market wants to go up here. So we'll trade it. Look, we came in with a negative market today. Now I look up here. The Dow looks like it'll be opened up. Implied open up over 200 points right now, and the S&P 500, as you can see on the chart, 34.65. So we're bouncing around 34.50, up about 15-20 handles on that jobs number. Let's get ready to rock and roll. We've already taken a couple pennies here out of Apple, and we'll look to do the same on a couple more.
Yeah, I mean, overall, just, worth noting, NASDAQ still trailing, of course, and that ES getting to that positive territory. Some of the travel names looking pretty good. CCL actually getting really close to testing yesterday morning's high. Obviously, the sell-off, you saw what happened all morning long. Nice bottom out here at 17. So I think that's going to be back into play. Some EV space as well, and Kensington. Back on the move. It's done another 3 million shares in the pre-market, so I guess I'll be fumbling through KCAC once again, trying to trade through that name. Was my best yesterday. We'll see if we can continue that. Keep in mind, of course, long weekend, guys, so there could be a lot of activity off of the open. Anticipate things might taper off just a little bit. Tends to happen throughout the day, so the afternoon could be a little bit slower, but it should be a good morning for us to trade.
Yeah, lots to look at coming up this morning, guys. We have, as I mentioned, a little bit of positivity coming back in the market. Let's have a look at what is coming up later in the show this morning. Another great educational video coming your way around 11:45, 11:50. Valeria will have the link for you in the chat. We're going to talk common trading terms. So a lot of confusion sometimes for new traders starting out about some of the language we use here on the live show when referring to the markets, to charts, to orders, things like that. So we're going to start a series here. This is going to be a series of videos on commonly used trading terms. So that's coming up again a little bit later on. Speaking of Valeria, let's bring her in and say good morning. It's Friday. Good morning, Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, trading family. I wish you a great Trading Friday, and please show some love, share the link with your friends, subscribe to this channel, and the most important, hit thumbs up. I'll see you later, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yes, indeed. Let's get it started, guys. Let's have a look at Carnival Cruise here, CCL. We'll talk about the travel group as a whole in general here to start things off. We had some positivity yesterday, even with the entire market moving to the downside after Carnival came out and said its Costa cruise line over in Italy would resume operations starting this weekend. And then the Ada cruise line, another version of its cruises over in Germany, going to start things off the first weekend of November. So that kind of kicked things off to the upside yesterday for the entire group, including some of the airlines showing some strength once again this morning, guys.
Yeah, speaking of Carnival, you had this sort of 1790-18 breakout, which was forming for the last couple of months now. You got to pop through multiple days. Of course, it gave you this trade yesterday, and then now consolidation at that same 1719-18 area in the pre-market, and then ramping to the upside. So I'm going to use that as a base. If we can hold that level, it's going to be trying longs in front of it. Unfortunately, if it breaks 1790, it might turn into a bit of a scalp short idea. Some support definitely formed in the afternoon that I would pay attention to. You do have this top end here, and that's going to be the 3/4. Yesterday's high, not really looking at today's. I'll watch that 1875 as well for some breakout trades. So 1790, 18 support. Let's bounce off that hopefully, and then 1875 break. Is Carnival one of the strongest names if you look at percent to the upside? That's not some kind of small cap.
Yeah, you mentioned here yesterday that we ripped up, and then we just came all the way back down. You saw what happened in the market yesterday. But then, yeah, relatively strong. It still held a bid. We closed the day before 1660. We closed yesterday, I guess, roughly right around here, 1750. Now you're up another $1. So I just look to see strength continued through 1875.
Okay, let's continue along here, guys. We'll move down to Tesla. Big mover, obviously, to the downside yesterday. We had 400 that came into play right around the end of the day. Ended up being a little bit of support, that kind of 405 to 400 area. The Edinburgh-based Bailey Gifford investment firm announcing yesterday they were cutting their, or they had cut their stake in the company down to about 4.25% from prior 8%. Nearly 8% as of December 31st of last year. So that was a little bit of catalyst to the downside for Tesla. Here we go again, guys. Back to the downside for Tesla again today.
Yeah, barely though. I mean, we're only down that 1%, Brendan, at this point. So it was a hell of a lot worse, down to 380 in the pre-market, like we said when we came in, and then that jobless number came, jobless claims number, I guess, jobs number, everything came out. At 380 bottom, now you're up to 403 again. This is where it spent basically all afternoon yesterday, 410 down to 405, bouncing around. Didn't really want to break any of those key levels. It did break 405, but going down $3 doesn't really mean anything. And then in the aftermarket is when we break that infamous 400, and 400 times 5 is 2,000. That's why everyone was watching out for that level. Dips down is 380 today. Now we're making that move back up. Look, Tesla, I still think it's going to get bought on almost every dip, but I mean, there's going to be violent moves throughout the day. That's for sure. So today, we'll wait to see what the futures do, but obviously there's that 420 level that we talked about yesterday as well. Bounced off there, a whole bunch of tops at 420. So if you're looking to go long, I'm going to wait until it makes a big move, and it could be southbound to start the day. So 400 down south or 420 upside for me.
Yeah, I'm looking to basically look at that 405 to 420, which was a waste of time, just sort of inside. It was really hard to trade. Even the 405 break was, like as Sean mentioned, I took it and it was, he made a little bit and then came back and then lost a little bit on the rest. It was such a waste, and it felt like it was going to be such a floodgate. I'm not going to stay away from it between that 05 and that 20. I feel like if you get enough strength, certainly a 420 break gives you some upside. However, if we cannot hold this 400 to 405 level, I'm going to be able to think about jumping into the short trade at some point. On Tesla, there are some support levels implied if you go back. The next below this 380, there is like a 365. If you look at the daily chart and sort of do the conversion pre-split, 365 would be the next level after that 380 mark. And if we can't hold that 405 to 420 range, I'm going to be looking to be shorting it, but I need to see it test to the upside first and fail.
All right, guys, let's talk NIO, another one big mover yesterday. Obviously on some news, we had the ADS offering announced earlier in the week. They've now completed that. So it ended up being a $1.73 billion US ADS offering that NIO has completed. So lots of volume, once again, to say the least, here in the pre-market, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at, it's not really like a pivot, but just watch this bottom from yesterday and then also the aftermarket, close and the aftermarket, 1850 or so, just a little bit lower than that. And you're seeing some consolidation, right below that price. So you sort of have this obvious decision point in the market. We're running away from that price each chance we get in either direction. If you're going to play a breakout, I think, as opposed to looking at this 1835 where it's sort of hanging right now, we'll almost ignore that and have to see it travel through that 1850 and buy above that before looking at any kind of an upside play in NEO. It's the same thing with Tesla. You kind of need to see that 420 to get really bullish on it as opposed to what we're trading right now. And that's the same thing. I feel like NEO, I'm going to be looking maybe at 1850. My first gut idea would be to see if we can't participate in selling that rally. Ultimately, we'll see what happens. If it rolls over at 1850, you're going to see me jump into a NEO short, but it's got to get there first.
Yeah, I don't. We'll just play the momentum. We keep talking about trading it off the open, but right here, NEO, still 300,000 shares to sell. We'll see if that gets ramped up. Let's remember that number, 375,000 shares to sell here going into the open. And yeah, I mean, that's the level that I'm looking at too, is 1850, and it's not rocket science. It was the bottom all afternoon. We did break a little bit, only dropped to 35. So I think if we break through 1850 and I do wind up smashing the long, we can hold it at least back down to here, 35. So a 15-cent risk for what I think could probably be at least back up to here, 19. So 15-cent risk for 50-cent reward. Sign me up, Brendo.
Looks like Hertz, guys. We're having a little data issue here, but looks like Hertz, you saw Hertz there. Number 2 on that list, they updated their current quarter, looking at about a 50-cent per share loss for Hertz. So you saw a big sell order there for Hertz. That was the reason. Let's go to NVIDIA here. Chip makers were under pressure big time yesterday. We saw a huge slide in both NVIDIA and AMD. This is an interesting story. It could affect the entire sector, guys. China coming out saying they're going to plan new government policy to develop their own domestic semiconductor industry, further putting a whole bunch of money towards both production and also education for future production of semiconductors. So NVIDIA under pressure again, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's just so amazing how fast these stocks can fall. I mean, we say up. What is it? It's down like an elevator, up like stairs.
Up like an elevator, down like an
escalator.
Up like an escalator, down like an
down
elevator.
like an escalator. That's what it. Just say there's nothing to do with stairs here. Yeah. So, anyways, 1565, 565 yesterday, and then all the way down this morning to 490. So that's $80, almost straight to the downside there. Yesterday was obviously a little bit of a bloodbath early on. Everybody saw us trading these names yesterday. NVIDIA was another great one that we were trading as well. And then you break through this 515, obviously after market. I'm looking at that 515 right now. I wrote it down. 515, 520. These were the bottom spots yesterday. So if the market does want to get going on this Jobs Friday, then I look for an NVIDIA to break through 515. But you can also short it at this spot here. Short it into 515. So let's just wait to see what it wants to do. Right now, $1.50 spread. Too much for me to get in right here unless you're going to use, I don't know, 100 shares, something like that. But we'll wait to see 515 here breaking to the upside. I like that. There's also this 520 level that we could go as well. So I tend to always be bullish when I look at these things, but we did see the price action yesterday once the market opened, and I talked about it was being down 1%, then it was 1.8, then it was 3.2, and the NASDAQ just continued to fall basically all afternoon. So let's wait to see what it can do right now. But NVIDIA, one of the strongest names in the semiconductor space. I'm not too threatened, Neil, about this Chinese news here. It takes a lot of infrastructure and a lot of capital to deal with AMD and NVIDIA and Intel. So I don't think that they're going to squash these guys, but it's definitely not good news.
It's definitely something to be watching in the upcoming months and years. I mean, today I think I'm going to be looking at this price action here. You sort of spoke my language with that 515. I think if we break this 510, I have a 10-minute up here just so you can see the kind of level this works out to. And if you go back to that 515, a little bit of significance if you go into late last month, or I guess that'll be last week as well, or early this week. And then if it gets above this 510 area and then fails to get through that 515 mark, I mean, that's going to signal just trying to jump into the short. It's like a failed sort of breakout trade, like break out that opening market range or the pre-market range and then fail right through some people that took that long or made that bet, running for the exits and then some selling cascading there. But I need to see it test to the upside first. this is one of those days, like, Holiday Friday, like Sean said, it's not about having opening trades or not. It's just needing to see something very specific. And I'd rather see some failed buying through a price like this 510 that can't get you to that next hump and then jump into a sell position on these types of names. There's some other names that I think I would be not hesitant to jump into some shorts right away. We'll get to those a little bit later. DTTW might be one of them.
Worth mentioning, guys, Intel a little bit relatively strong here in the pre-market when it comes to the chip makers. Both NVIDIA and AMD looking very similar as far as the chart is concerned, but Intel closer anyways, back to break even. So worth noting heading towards the open here. Let's have a look at DocuSign next. Among the more exciting as far as earnings are concerned, they reported earnings after market yesterday. Both per share revenue numbers beat handily. Nice looking report overall for DocuSign. Benefiting obviously from more people working remotely, more people at home because of the pandemic. Both JP Morgan and Piper Sandler also out this morning with price target increases on this stock. It's an interesting looking chart, guys. They did buy this up in the aftermarket yesterday. A nice little pop to the upside. But with the negative sentiment, I guess, coming in this morning overall, we were significantly lower, but working its way back up here.
Yeah, where did it close here? 242. I mean, on that number, you get all the way to 260 on some algos, so we're not going to worry about that. Just reading the tape, reading the news, and it comes out there. Then they hit it back down. I like the price target upgrade. I'm not going to go over the numbers. I mean, the revenue beat. Brendan just hit it. You guys can look over all that. We're going to talk about the chart here for you on the show. And welcome to tradertv.live. What we're doing right now is we're going over the watch list. So if you want to sign up for that, find the link with Valeria now, watchlist.tradertv.live. If you're not signed up for that, then it's going to be hard to follow a little bit all the points Brendan's talking about on that list as we speak. But I just think that JP Morgan, nice price target upgrade as well. A few other upgrades coming on DocuSign. This is a loved name. I like what they're doing. It makes a lot of sense to me that you can sign legal papers offline and whatnot. So 236 to the upside here, 235. I just look for breaks. But again, spread can be $1, $1.50 when it opens up. So not a trade to make right off the open, but I am thinking that we can fill this gap for sure, which is 240. So we closed yesterday 240, 242. So I like this gap, closing this gap, and then possibly taking a break through 240 to the upside. I'll find that exact close for you. Looks like we're down $9, so and that's on 233. So yeah, that's right. So 242 looks like about a break. 240, 242.
Yeah, also going to note the top end there, and for gap fills, I like to have some target ideas, and I just look at this area from like 250 to about this like 257. That $5 area, I feel like if it gets in there in that range, it could run into, or DocuSign could run into some trouble here. So a couple of ways you can play that. If we do make a breakout style trade, and 230 was, I mean, we're in front of right now. That was a decent level. You look at the gap up earlier in the week and the consolidation around that price. So lots of reasons to ramp up here if it can. I'm looking for it to reverse likely in that 52 to 57-ish range, somewhere in the middle there. If it rolls over, getting out of long positions makes sense in terms of short-term trade, and then thinking about a short. It won't be the first place that I would jump into the short. Perspective matters, and that pullback was rather heavy going into the earnings already. And there is some nice little chop support on a sort of a longer term level here. If you look at this like 210 to 220 area on DocuSign, if that holds next week, that could be a nice little jump up to the upside next week.
Lots of people just joining us, guys. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We do this, as Sean mentioned, every single morning, 9 a.m. to 9:30. We go over everything moving around in the pre-market and talk about why and how we could possibly trade it coming up at the open. Grab the watch list from Valeria. She has the link for you in the chat. It's absolutely free, guys. Hit the like button as well as we continue to move along here. Let's go to Kensington Capital next. Pretty impressive move yesterday. Talk about relative strength, guys. The market going straight southbound. This one didn't care, just straight higher. We're higher again today. I mean, the close on this stock was very strong at the end of the day yesterday, and here we are gapping up again.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1740, 1750. So Kensington, once again, it gave that break. It was a little bit later on. This wasn't like 2, 3 o'clock. Sometimes you'll see that. It was literally right at the end of the day with minutes to go that it broke out. it's going to continue its run to the upside. At some point when I see this, you get parabolic move, a gap up, and continue to run. I'm going to be looking to short it eventually. But yesterday, the reason it was my best stock is because I wasn't married to either one direction or the other. You got to be willing to play it both ways. I do have a couple of levels that I'm watching on Kensington here. One of them is first going to be this 2150 area. We're a couple of dollars above that. I don't know that I feel comfortable shorting it until we retest that price range. So I'm going to stay away from that for the time being. Look for potential long breaks through 2350. Play the momentum. If there is a parabolic move up, they get some consolidation, I'll let you know if I'm shorting that type of a play in real time.
So here's NEO down here. It's got chopped in half. Remember we talked about we'd have an update on what the market on open imbalance locator looks like. So here's NEO. Was 380 sell, now 155, so more than half. And what's taken off the top here is Kensington right now. So I've learned basically never to step in the way of Bill Gates. So we'll wait to see. Of course, they're going to be taking over symbol QS very soon with their quantum battery business. So they're just, right now, they're just riding KCAC. So that's what this is. This symbol will be gone once they do the SPAC, so the takeover of QS. So we'll wait to see here. But, you know, $23, it just took it out. We'll move this out. It's been a monster move up. Nothing really to say about this other than what we already have. Yesterday, we both traded it, both positive on this stock. And we'll look to do the same today. You just got to watch out because yesterday, I remember it was like 15, 16 and moving a couple dollars. So now you're almost doubled in price. So you're going to watch to see some volatility in this name, guys.
Yeah, QS going to be the symbol, guys. I haven't seen a specific date as far as the closure, but they have said Q4, sometime in Q4. That deal should close and it'll switch over, as Sean said, to QS. Apple, guys, the next one on the list here. A little bit of news on Apple. They came out this morning saying they're going to delay their latest version of iOS for mobile devices specifically until mid to late next year. This has to do with some specific ad targeting issues that they're having. So iOS for mobile devices being delayed, but I mean, it's Apple. So I guess we just buy it, guys?
I would say so. I bought it off that number there and it made, I don't know, I think we're up 48 cents. It was nothing. I got it in and out quickly. I just want to show before we go on here, this is our morning movers. This is our watch list, and just I know we have new viewers up right now, so you can sign up right now and get this. We talk about everything that we're talking about right now. Soon to be Peloton, Tesla, all these notes in here as well. All talked about what we're looking at, Docu, why we're talking about it. Here's the numbers that Brendan's been reviewing, and then I talked about as well, and Neil and whatnot. All the numbers here, NEO, Apple, everything's on there. So I just want to bring that up to everyone's attention.
And it's free.
And it's free. And I mean, you can't go wrong with free, especially when the information is as good as it is. Believe me and Neil have combined more than 35 years. I won't go exactly what it is, and believe me, this watch list is almost just as good as anyone else there, and it's free. But here's Apple. Yeah, good point, Brendan. Apple making the moves upside now off that jobs number. Look, Apple got destroyed. I can't show you. We still have this one print up here. I can't get rid of it. But 130 yesterday and just made moves all the way down, man. We stopped at 120. Then we broke almost 120 yesterday. We did not, but then we come in today, 117 and change. That's the bottom. If you're looking to trade Apple to the downside, you do have yesterday's little break spot there. We closed yesterday at around 121. That's right where we're at right now. As you can see, we're only up 21 cents. Let's call it 121 even. I would say you could just hit it back to the downside. If it breaks 120, you go short. And if not, let's watch what Apple wants to do with these futures.
All right, guys, you mentioned Peloton there. Let's talk Peloton. I want to make sure we get to Arun here and talk about the futures before we get to the open. But Bloomberg reporting that Peloton is in the works of launching a less expensive treadmill and a new version of their stationary bike, as well as the company looks to continue to capitalize on the stay-at-home kind of market for them, which has been great. So Peloton getting a little bit of a bump on that news today, guys.
Yeah, if you sort of correspond yesterday's bottoms and ignore that wick here, you're really talking about barely breaking 81 and then bottoming out like 80.60 or so, and then stabilizing around $82. And now you're getting a ramp up, gap down, and then a ramp up to this 81 price level. It does look like there's a chance for a break here. Peloton, just watch out for the spread. I'm seeing 10 cents right now, but I really do feel like that could open up. Just show you level 2. It's only 10 pennies right now, that spread. It could open up if we could break in 81. It's not usually a stock that I love to trade in the pre-market. ultimately it's going to be hard to get into a larger position without getting a lot of slippage. So one of the things I think you think about here is if it can hold this dollar sort of range on whipsaw action at the open, maybe dipping down, fading some people out at like 80 bucks, that might be a better way to get into it as opposed to just like blindly, like I would have been triggered in. If I had a stop order, I'd probably be sitting here long at 81.30 and then wondering, what's the liquidity like? And it's going to, if it goes up, it goes up. I want to see if it can test down and give me something in the 80 to 81 range before eventually going to the upside. There's so much room for it to come back. And when you look at the daily chart, guys, this was up at 90 bucks just a day or two ago.
I'm taking a sip of coffee, but yeah, Peloton, good reviews there. Peloton, great stock. We do love that name. But I'm amazed at Apple here. Nice little run upside. Still going, Brendan. Let's keep going. We don't have much time left.
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago here, we're going to bring Arun in, have a look at the futures. We've obviously gone positive, not a heck of a lot, but 0.3% here on the jobs number. Arun, what are we looking at as far as levels are concerned?
Yeah, after quite the ride yesterday, today might be a little choppy in terms of action because there's going to be a lot of players entering the board trying to play both directions. So I'm going to mark off the same area that I gave you guys on the update yesterday, just above 35 at 34.90. I'm going to go between 34.90 and 34.95. That might move a little bit above to 3,500, not yet. For now, it's going to be between 34.90 and 34.95. And of course, on the bottom, we're looking at 34.25. There's going to be a lot of action in between those two ranges. So I'm going to look for any sort of a setup that I can find if I can take the trade between 34.75 going into that 34.90 area. And of course, below 34.40 going down to that 34.25 area. There's going to be a lot of setups in between. Of course, if you take the break, just make sure if you take a break on either end, just make sure that the risk reward ratios are proper for that kind of a trade because it might be a little choppy. It won't go. I'm not expecting it to go quickly, but there seems to be a lot of action on both directions. So I'm just going to look for a break in either direction, or if I can get a nice setup in front of either one of those levels.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll have a look at how things are shaping up on Monday with Arun once again before the open. It's worth mentioning, I think, the past couple of months following the jobs report, there has been significant follow through both months to the upside. So let's see what happened. And the number was nowhere near as good as this one. So DPW, a little one to have a look at today. DPW up 40 and change percent. This is a company that has a partner they're working with that's developing EV charging stations. So the magic word there, electric vehicles, obviously. So they're saying that their new high-speed charging station will be ready for market by the end of the year. Already some contracts in place for them. So just using this top end of the range here, 235 up to 245. If you go out to the daily time frame, that kind of corresponds with this support area from way back. This is going way back to the beginning of August, end of July. So 235 up to 245 on DPW, guys.
DPW.
That's what I mentioned. That's something I'd be willing to short, guys. So I actually just jumped into it on this consolidation. You got to give it to the high of day if you're making this kind of a trade here. It's 237. You can sort of round that up if you want to. Look at 240 or have an area stop in that 5-cent price range. The KCAC actually did break to the upside with 3 minutes to go here. And again, I was looking at that 23.50. Not a trade I love making pre-market. It did round out at about 24, so it is starting to come back in. I'm going to adjust a little bit. I will be willing to now short it at below 22.80. So if it comes below this price, I'll take a scalp short, more like 22.75 or so. If we break that, I'll probably jump into a quick open short, thinking it could be like a 30 or 40 cent scalp initially on that KCAC, but the new high, 24 even, would be the breakout.
I just want to bring up also a point here about Apple. I looked at this again, and I think 1950, if you're going to go short right here, makes a lot of sense. We battled there a little bit in the pre-market, 1950. So as it comes back down, I know a lot of you are probably looking to make some trades on Apple today. So 1950, if you're holding the long, is where I would drop that off. But with only two and a bit left, let's just see what happens for now. And yes, $120 on Apple. Let's just quickly check out on Docu. I know that's another name that you guys are going to be looking at. I talked about 242. We'll see if it can get through there. Again, I do like 235. That's already broken. And then again, JP Morgan on the move, one of my best stocks yesterday, looking at 104.50. It stopped off there. So we'll see if it can break that again. But 104.50, hard to look at these stocks in the pre-market based on what they're doing, because as we know, the market on open imbalances will come in hard. So let's wait to see what that does in the first couple minutes. But I do like JP Morgan here, guys.
Yeah, and just worth noting, we did get into into this gap range on NVIDIA here. It broke that 510. It got up to like 516. Ideally, this would have happened at the open. It's trying to reject back through. So it looks like there could be an opportunity with a retrace at that 510 area. It did breach 515, but the fact that it snapped back down, and again, this is pre-market volume, is at least a little bit significant, but I'm not going to love it as much as if it had been one of those right off the open type of rejection plays. I think that's a little bit more confidence that I would have in it. KCAC is coming right back down here, so I'm going to trigger, oh, wait a minute. I got to get some shorts on that one, but it looks like it's below that 2280 mark. I'm going to go get some locates. I thought we had them for free on KCAC. We might have to pay a little bit for those.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So not that. Okay. So not. Okay. Yeah. Just getting some notes back over here. All right. So let's keep going here. All right. That's JP Morgan. We already talked about that. We're almost at the open here with only 30 seconds to go. JP Morgan on watch. NEO on watch. NVIDIA on watch as well. Apple on watch. We got a whole bunch going. Just watch out in this first couple minutes, guys. It's a jobs day and it's Friday, so I'm not going to be getting into anything off the open. I don't have any orders in right now, which is very, very unusual for me. I'm not doing anything until we see what exactly this market wants to do in the first couple minutes. Here comes Apple 1950. I lied. I'll probably short Apple 1950.
Yeah, I'm looking at NVIDIA here with just dropped the countdown there. Of course, it's a holiday on Monday, so last trading for a sad 3-day weekend. But hey, Randy's on the bell. Don't break it, Randy. Did he punch it? What are you, like Mike Tyson or something?
All right, so now we are short Apple here. All right, so we're short Apple. Nice trade on Apple to start the day here. Bang! We get that right off the top. A nice little trade on Apple. They're out at 19 and change there. Let's see. I'm a little nervous about it, but we are still short Apple right now. 119.40 took some out there twice on the bottom. Let's see how low it wants to go, guys.
Yeah, watch out. The DTW, it's a lot of action above this, like 230 area. Watch for that 240 top. If it goes, I'm going to go long. NVIDIA trying to break back up to that 510. That was the area we liked it. It gapped like $2. So very tricky trade to get in. I'll try to get back in if it enters that target range. So watch out for NVIDIA falling as well, but a little bit of a bounce back here. And I'm going to try to pick this one up on a little bit of a pop. Got to give it to like that 515 area and see what happens.
Yeah, and see, and this is what we're talking about. That's why you got to get out. There goes Apple back to the upside a little bit, watching these futures. We're going to give this one about to 121 on the upside, and then we'll trade it from there. So we do got to go back over to JP Morgan as well quickly to see what that's doing. This is why we see all the way down. This is why we're talking about you can't get too aggressive early on a lot of these names, or else you are going to get burned. So let's wait to see what JP Morgan does. Actually going the opposite way. It looks like tech is leading the way right now, and obviously the value stocks, but CCL is 1809 right now. Let's go over to that stock as well, guys.
Yeah, and it looks like NVIDIA is going to be a hit and DTW is going to be a win. So I short both of these names. NVIDIA about to break back up that 515. Structure of the trade is what it is. I slid back in. Got about 11 as an average price. Probably should have been closer to 12. So I'm going to get out when it breaks 215. I will go, I was going to hit the flush down the toilet, but I don't have that one up. So I'm going to go with, just sitting here and looking for this 210 break in DTW. Now, obviously, this is the first level of support. I'm going to get some out in front of it every single time. If it breaks this 210, you want to make sure you hang on to some for a 2-even break. This stock could be at $1.80, $1.85 if it continues to fall all day long.
JP Morgan, DocU. Let's check out what DocU's doing. We just averaged into a little bit of Apple, but we are going to use the top here to get out. Okay, DocU goes the other way, 225. So, I'm shorting the only thing that's going up here with Apple, so that's not good. Here goes DocU. Let's see what's this bottom here, 221 and change. Now, actually, because I like DocU, I think this has a possibility to get back up here and maybe crack this level, 231 and change on the upside for DocuSign. You could definitely look at that. But NVIDIA, there we go. So we get flushed out of Apple. We did take a win and then a loser there. So we'll flush ourselves down the toilet on Apple as it breaks back above. Now 122. Wow. The day I'm always a bull, and today I'm not. And Apple just ripping people's faces off. Nice to see that these tech stocks are back.
Yeah, go figure, right? And I talked about CCL. This was on our watch list, and I said, 1790 to 18 would be a place if it dipped down and sold into it. I'd try to pick it up. It did dip, got down as low as 97, 98. I bought on the way back up here at 1808. So again, if you got to have a plan like that, sort of going into it, expecting a bounce in the specific area. I will scalp some of this out here for like a quick 10-cent win, and then look to see if we can't rebound a little bit higher. The real test will become if it tries to get into that 35 to 50 range, could roll over at that same price and be a short setup. But for now, I'm holding this at 1790. That's always going to be the out. I'll get you guys back to DTW, trying to take out the second level at 210, and I will get another leg out when it does. Just need to make sure I hang on to some for that 2-even break, which could be fantastic.
Apple is just ripping people up right now, Apple. So let's see what it wants to do here, 123.50. I mean, this market is just up. Wow, what an Apple move here. This is amazing. As a shareholder, I'm super happy. We did get killed on the long, but look at this, 123. Now, what's up, B?
Little one, guys, another one from the EV space moving today. Plug Power here, Plug down yesterday, but a nice bump in the aftermarket. We're higher even from those levels. D.E. Shaw disclosing a passive stake in Plug Power, guys.
All right, we're just getting ready to go some Tesla here, I think, on this break of 422. Let's see how high Tesla wants to go here. To take a long through 422 here if we can on this name, guys. Back to about 415.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at
we missed it.
Yeah, look, I miss Tesla as well, but I'm looking to see if there's any kind of a pullback to get me into that party. All I got is that CCL trade, and then, of course, the easy short in DTTW, but Tesla off to the races. Worth noting, when you go to that, always go to that higher time frame look, watch out for this 430 and change top. That was yesterday's high. Ignore those wicks. It's really this like 432 range at the high end. It might turn around there. If you're looking for longs, maybe give you a pullback into that range. If you're looking for targets, that could be a place to get into it if you're interested. So I think that 415 could pull back with a rejection at 32. There goes CCL. That's in like about 20 cents. I'm looking for like 35 to 40 before I take the next leg out.
Okay, so we are short Apple again here, 122.18. We just cashed out there, 121.80. So a nice little 40-cent win there. We're going to give it back to 123 just to see if it wants to go or not. So again, that's why we cashed some out there. Cashed out about half down there for 50 cents. Now we'll give it to the rest of 123. It looks like it wants to break. We just tried Apple short, guys. I mean, that's just what it was. We're going to see if that wants to retrace back down again. And just because we saw how far this thing can drop, but the futures are kicking up, man. They're kicking up. So watch out for 123 break. We missed Tesla. I tried to get that 122, and we crossed up to 122.50 and missed it. So if you are looking to trade Tesla, you got to cross up probably at least 50 cents on any break. I did and missed it. So there you go. What's up, B?
We're talking cruise lines, guys. Norwegian with a big volume spike here, right back to pre-market highs here. We got a big flush at the open, 18 up to 18.5, all in a couple of minutes there for Norwegian, guys.
All right. Yeah, big time watchers today. Thank you so much for watching us. Sign up, hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Speaking of which,
5,500 watching.
Top of the watch list, if I think it was right, was the travel space. And the plan for me was going to be buying the dip in CCL. We talked about 1790. This is what we went over at 8 o'clock. It's going to roll over right in that range that I expect, like 35 to 50 or so. So I'm going to take my profit. And again, this is like a scalp trade idea, anticipating a certain price range. Still an area of significance for me. I might take it again on a bit of a dip trade, and a 1790 can't hold. Probably a bit of a reversal in play. A new trade in DPW. So a couple of ideas here. One, it did eventually get that 210 area break. I'm now going to jump back into some more shares on the way down to 2 even. I will try to pick some up on a pullback as well in the 15 to 20 range. I want to try to stay net short. As long as we can hold that 25 to 40 top, I want to see if I can be net short in that trade. The only long breakout for me will be at 240 if it does happen. I'm not saying it will, but you never know. You want to have a plan of action in either way. CVAC, we didn't get to this one. I thought there'd be more volume on this. It was a story, Elon Musk, CVAC teaming up in Germany for vaccine nonsense. I thought this would be more positive. This was yesterday's story. It's up 4%. It's on my watch in the back of my mind for a 61 break, but without any volume, you can see here not doing much of anything, only 200,000. I might have to file that one away for later on in the day.
I did like NEO here as well through 1920. That's the top right here for NEO. So let's see if we can get that, and then we'll go on it. But right now, not doing anything. Tesla's missed, man. We tried 420, like we said, and missed that one, and now it's off to the races. Yeah, and CKAC, wow, what a mover that one's been. It does break that 23, then it breaks 24, and now it's going to break 25. It just did. And we're up and away here on CCAC right now. Kensington going up. That's that SPAC, guys, going to turn into QS here. So that stock is just ripping faces off right now. Good for anyone that's in that. I'll have to wait for it to come back down. Missed it already. I don't know how high it's going to keep going. AMD, a trade that we made yesterday as well. Big move off the open here, just like all things tech. Make a move off the open to the north side. Now coming back, fading a little bit. Maybe this is the turn of the market right here, guys.
Yeah, I picked up some more, and this is, again, that dip buy, and I'm going to try it a second time here. It's not that it's playing with house money. It's more about the fact that I like that level, and it worked once. I'll try it again here. If 1790 goes, I'm likely to reverse in Carnival, so I did pick some more up on the long side, and we'll try to do the same thing, scalp trade. I believe Brendan has something for us?
Banks were really strong yesterday, guys. Just having a look at JP Morgan here. Kind of got rejected up there at 104, 104.50, the high on the day. We're in, recent high territory up here on the daily chart as well. So some of the banks definitely in positive territory, but looking a little weak, guys.
Okay, we just took some AMD short here. We'll average into it a little bit here at 56. Now we took some more there. Oh, wow, nice little trade. We just took some 56s there all the way down to 40. So watch out. Pivot points up at 84.12 or so here on another chart that we're looking at for AMD. So yesterday was a big mover, 84.20. We are now short 83.53, so it's not like it's a great trade. It's back into the money now, but we'll watch out for this one. We'll short it ahead of this number just in case this market does want to continue to fall. But today, big jobs number. We've seen what this can do to the market. So watch out here. AMD, we're going to keep trying to short this thing.
Brendan, what do you got?
One we were looking at yesterday, guys, CrowdStrike back to the downside here. Got rejected up there at 130, straight back to 126, underneath where we ended yesterday for CRWD. So again, a little bit of weakness coming into the crowd space, guys.
To KCAC, but if I come out of Brandon with a bit of a winner, I gotta go yeehaw for you guys. DTTW talked about what I would be willing to short today. Started at 25. We got a nice winner there down in front of 2 even. I then took a couple of shots here, loaded up at 210-ish, and then also at that 205 range. You're gonna see me get some out on this 2 area. I did expect there could be some support, so I did just get a bunch of shares out at 01s and 2s. And if it breaks this, like I said, the next leg down, give you that 185, 190 look. This one could be one that we have all day long here to the short side. Carnival, however, is starting to work down towards that 17, really close to that 1790. Second test was a bit deeper than the first, so I should have been a little bit more patient. Got a price closer to my strike at 1790. That's where my out is. Instead, I do have it here at 1213. Not the best entry price. I should have been much more patient with that. If I was, I'd be staring a winner in the face instead of about break even right now, needing it to get back to that 25-30 mark. So I might have to be more aggressive taking this one off. Carnival not as strong as I expected.
And there we go, guys. Nice big win. Monster win, actually, to be exact. AMD, we load up there at 84, like we said. Now we're down here, 50-cent win. So we're flossing that one off as we go. Let's just keep getting some out here. AMD, super aggressive name, moving to the downside there. Bang! There it is, another 50-cent. We're trying not to be a pig here, not get slaughtered. So AMD, big win now, 50 cents on a lot of shares. So let's just keep on going now, 50, 60, 70 cents now in the money. Still using 84.20 as our top, but watch out for these futures to break. AMD 83.29 right here is that bottom. So we're going to get some more out right here and see if we can hold, but a big time win here for me on AMD, making that Apple money back that we lost early on. But AMD making moves to the downside, guys.
Yeah, watch out for Rocket also making moves to the downside. I actually had a couple levels here on my list here, and I wanted to go back to 25.75. If you just sort of look at yesterday's action, we're coming back in. If it can hold it, great. I think the short might be in today with that fall I just saw in Rocket. I'll look to fade this one. 26.50 was a big level yesterday. I'll try to use that again. But Brendan's got something for us. What do you have, bud?
Another one from the semi group, guys. ON Semiconductor. If you like the smaller ones, decent volume here. Higher relative volume on this one for sure. 5% for ON Semiconductor. Just be aware, we're at recent high territory here for this one as well, guys.
Right, and it's chicken dinner winner. Wow, AMD, guys, breaking back through $83. This is a big time win. This is $1 now in the money on AMD as we turn bearish on the market. Boom, big time trading happening right now on AMD. Wow, down to 90s now. This is $1.02, $1.03 in the money. We took the shares, we put them on, and that's where the winners are coming from right here. The tech sector falling to the downside. Just too bad that we lost. I don't know why we were so in love with Apple short. It's going to be right, but I had to dump it because who knows how high Apple can go if you're wrong. But that's a bad trade there. But AMD now more than $1 in the money for your boys. So good little move down here on AMD. I did want to look at JP Morgan, Brendan. That was one of my, I marked down JP Morgan going through the moon here at 104, but that did not happen. Turned around. Here we go, $1.20 now. Yes, sir, we'll hit the cowbell. Alert, alert, if you're short with AMD on me, I'm going to start to cover the majority right now.
Yeah, watch out for Walmart. We didn't talk about this one yet, but about a 145.60 area here. If it can break through that, it looks like a potential breakout trade. It's looking strong. It just turned positive. So you do see some sell-off happening, of course, as John mentioned, in the tech, just pulling back below 118 or 1180 there on the NASDAQ futures. I'm watching if we can break out through Walmart. 145.60 is my price. I got my order locked and loaded, ready to go. If it gets there, got to test it first. That's the way I'm going long. It's the break. If it stays weak, I'm staying away.
Wow, kaboom! On our watch list today, NVIDIA, but we switch over to AMD. What's up, V? I know, watch is not working right now, but we did have a watch list out today. NVIDIA was a monster on there. We switched it over to AMD, where I was comfortable yesterday. And here we go, $1.30 in the money, guys. Look at this. We let the move happen, then we settled down, short, 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 short. 4 shorts in here, and then ding, 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 ding. And what you get is a siren alert for you guys out there. Big time trading. We have 10% left of this beast. Wish we would have held it all, but that's always the case. That's not how I trade. I can't be the scalp king if I'm not going to scalp. So there you go. That's making moves down. What up, Gus? Hope you're having a big day out there, too. To all our friends on the trading floor. Boom! $1.70 now in the money on AMD. Let's go.
Yeah, I got this DTW. It just broke to even, so I now have about half the position on still. We're going to see if we can't hold some through that 185. It's going to be ultimate target, but you know, if you will follow along every single day, I try not to be too greedy. Even if I have a target, I want to make sure I'm getting out in front of it. So you'll see me pop out of some of those shares on the way down. KCAC, Kensington here, running into a key sort of 2260 area that just broke. I was just about to give this one to you. It just broke here, so I'm going to see if we can't jump into some shares. I did have to pay for shorts on this name, so some of you guys might not be able to go short in this, but it just broke through what was a key sort of support level. Brennan, what do you got for
Domo, guys, we were talking about a little bit of weakness in the cloud space. This is the only one that's not. A couple of upgrades on DOMO, including one from UBS, price target increase as well, but a little pullback here through 45, a little thinly traded as well, but DOMO on the move, guys.
Domo, okay, $1.70 now in the money. We just took some off. Now we have 5% left, so we're just going to hold this, but wow, what a beastly trade there on AMD. I hope you guys have this. It's $2 now in the money. What a monster there. NIO did retrace back, so maybe we can pick some up after this drop. I mean, look at the market now just coming back down pretty hard. So we're now into negative territory after being upside. We just dropped 20 straight handles. NEO right now making some money to anybody short here. 1840 is that little level if you did want to play it to go backside, but I don't know, man. A lot of these high flyers are getting taken to the shed today. So once again, off of that big move. Just wish we would have held on to our Apple shares. Let's go back here and have a quick look at that. 119 right now, right where we initially shorted. Look at this drop in Apple. I just was not patient enough. Should have given it a little bit higher. I'm going to review the charts and make sure. What? AMD now $2.50 now into the money, all the way back down to this little level. Let's get out if we get 81.50 here. But AMD, wow, big time mover to the upside downside here as we go. Wow, what a big deal today this market's been. Wow.
Yeah, and big move happening now on KCAC. If it's going to break this 22 a couple of times here, we're going to take the scalp trade. The next level is going to be, for me, 21.25. Once it gets there, it could find a bottom. It could find a little bit of a bounce. I want to make sure I can play some pullbacks. We do still also have that other short that I talked about. That's going to be DPW. It's at 194. I continue to take profit on the way down to 185 is my target. But watching this Domo here, the volume is okay at 800,000, but I need to see some actual consolidation to think about any kind of a pullback trade. It's already come back in $3. The spread is all right, but liquidity could be a bit of a concern on that Domo. So I'm going to wait for a 42.50 consolidation before considering a trade there. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Big mover yesterday, guys. Just checking to see if there was an update. Big mover to the downside yesterday on this AKBA Therapeutics. Looked like another downgrade for this one, but just noticed big flush out here through 280. So big volume coming in through 280. Had a little bit of a pop back up to 290 aftermarket yesterday. Yeah, going back to Tuesday of this week, this thing was $10. So we're working back to the southbound side, guys, on AKBA.
I feel like that's an understatement.
See ya with AMD. I will look at that in a minute, but I have to talk to you guys about this. This is a $3 winner now for AMD to the downside. So big moves here. If you're still on this with me, that's fantastic. Obviously, we scalped out of most of these. This was a big out here ahead of VWAP, but now we just continue to drop down like we said would happen early and often today. Did not believe that move up at all. And unfortunately, though, I did get stuck on Apple and took an early hit on that. But look at this drop on Apple. We were 100% right. Look, short. Just couldn't have it. Couldn't hold on to it. Once it broke that 123, I said enough was enough on that one. But we did not say that for AMD. and AMD right now, $3 in the money, guys. Giddy up.
Yeah, watch out for Peloton, which Peloton giveth, Peloton taketh away. Up to 85 off the pre-market lows at 78, and we're right back at that same price. I had 78 marked down as a level, and also 75 the next level down, so still has room to go. I can tell you I've reloaded in KCAC, so we'll do some scalp trading here in and out, and I will try to take that like 30, 40 cent win, and that's fair enough. But I'm going to see if we can't get a few more shares in, give these to about that 22.75 range, and try to take it down close to that 21 to 21.50. Brennan, what do you have?
I mentioned JPM there, guys. BAC, Bank of America, also just making a new day high there through 26.50, popping up on a volume scanner. So banks definitely strong, guys.
All right, we're going to give it $1 offset on this one to go. So what I'm talking about that is I'm going to give a stop order here, $1 stop, because we're down here at $80. If it comes back up here to 82, that's kind of where I'd get out anyways on this consolidation. So we'll give this one $1 stop. So letting AMD ride with the slap shot there. And how about them Raptors? Tweeted it out yesterday on that big win, and we'll hit a swish here today for the Raptors. Nice call by Kyle Lowry on that pass to OG Anunoby there with a 6-6 shot. The Raptors lucky to get that one under their belt, but now down 2-1. So, okay, AMD back to the upside. What's up to all my Celtics fans there? You have a great team. Anyways, this is a great series, and it looks like that's what it's going to be. Tesla now breaks back down, Neil. Just breaks down through 400 right there. So there it is. It goes all the way back to the upside there, giving everybody some false hope, including myself as a shareholder. All the way upside, 427. I dumped some of my position in my long-term holdings yesterday around 405 when that broke, and now we're down here 398. I still wait for battery day, September 22nd, guys.
Yeah, we did talk about that sort of a couple levels down, 380, 365 in the event there's another flush. Just gonna let you guys know, reloaded again in that KCA. Every time KCAC pops up and tests 2280, I'm jumping into some shares there. So average price of 22.30. I am getting them out, some of them for 40, 50 cent wins on the way, and of course 21.20 I did mention is a bit of a target. Now, if Tesla comes back here, retesting that sort of range into 420 and fails, I think here, right around like 10 to 13, it could be a nice little shorting opportunity. So that's what I'm looking for on Tesla. I said maybe that we'd play the price action. It could be pretty good and the volume pretty good in KCAC. But look at this. It's a sort of a scalper's dream in this 22.50 to 21.80 range, just taking 30, 40 cents out of it. I'm holding the short. So if it rolls over again, I'm going to have something here. But I can't ignore the fact that it's just giving you that money. And I'm going to sit here and start taking it a little bit more aggressively. It's going to continue to give it to me. There's that KCAC to the upside. Wow, it actually just broke that 2280. Let's see what happens if it can continue running to the upside here. DPW, watch out, buyer at 190. So as good a short as that has been, someone's stepping up to the plate on the bid in front of my short.
And as good as our watch list has been, I have JP Morgan written here, look, 104. Hard to see. 104.50 has multiple stars on it. And we missed it because we were sitting there watching our AMD, which is now $3, and that's GBTC. AMD, yeah, look at that shot there. Hey, what's up, guys? That's our floor. Wish it was full. It's not right now. Look at AMD, though. I hope hopefully Gus and some of our traders out there have that. We hit the air horn to the downside now. $80.70. Your boy is short up here at 84 right now. $84 downside here on AMD. Just keeps on making moves, man. $4 winner here. JP Morgan, we finally got some 80s on board. So we'll wait for some 105 breaks on this one. A nice little win there, but 104.50 was the go on JP Morgan. So we'll wait for 105 now, guys, but a nice little win so far.
I think Brendan's got something for us. What do you got, bud? No?
Yeah, it needs a little follow through here, guys, but COTY moving to the upside today, 5.4%, about 5.5% depending. 380 was a bit of a level on the daily time frame. We are above that and holding now. They have a new CEO that started today, guys.
Yeah, worth noting that. I just want to go back to Peloton for a quick second here. Some consolidation at that bottom, so I still like the break at 78. It hasn't happened yet. I would at least entertain. Remember 80 to 81? If it enters that price for a short opportunity, I will jump in on Peloton. As long as it holds that 81 first, I'll be okay with it. I'll jump back in probably at like an 80 level. So it's going to be 80 break or failure at 81, roll into some shorts. Yeah, that DPW cannot get down to that 190. So 185 is my target. Look, we shorted 225. We shorted at 210. Obviously, we got to be happy with the overall taking 20 and 40 cents out of moves like that. It's a $2 stock, but it's not going to get all the way to 185 if 190 can't go. I'm now looking at Peloton, hopefully, for an opportunity at this 80 to 80 mark, 81 mark. 78 to 75 would be the short if there's a breakdown.
All right, there we go. Now moving upside again, JP Morgan. Let's take off some more because we are going to go long through 105 again. So we're just scratching this off right now. Boom, another 20-cent winner. B.
Earnings name, guys, Broadcom, AVGO, nice look here, just made a new day high through 370. Big volume spike at 370 there. Yeah, we're getting up to significant levels here. Looks like the all-time high, 379 and change there for AVGO, guys.
Wow, that's kind of strange because with Apple falling down, I know Broadcom's big with them too. So Apple 119, now 118. I know, Neil, I'm not into CCAC. I don't know if you wound up getting into it now, but it's just kind of bouncing around off of a beautiful morning to the upside here. This is a 1-minute chart. This is our 1-minute VWAP there. So we just bounced off there a couple times. I know Neil and I both like to look at that. So 2280 VWAP, let's call it 23 for now. That's what's cracking with that. JP Morgan, 105 long. We called that. You can see what I have on the bottom there. Short AMD, $3.50 in the money. Long JP Morgan after being long down here as well. So cashing in on JPM. We're small on it right now. I'm going to try to get more long in the 70s and then use this 50 as my out. But look at the futures, man. We just continue to fall down. This is a very, there we go. Now we're long JP Morgan. This could be a very dangerous proposition here with this market doing this, but we are long. We're only going to give it back. Here it comes back right through 50. We take a shot here, and there it goes. It's going to get out most likely on a 50 break. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But now back to the upside. Watch out here. JP Morgan battling right now.
Yeah, I still have that order for obviously a Peloton I talked about, but let's go back over to Tesla here. I know it's going fast for everybody. Tesla does not test to that 413. It got to what number? 405 before rolling over. What do we know that one from? That's yesterday's price. That was that key bottom. It held it so well all day long. It's still trying to break through this 390 mark, so you are getting a $15 chop end range. The breakout could be good in either way. The issue with the 90 break is you run into immediate sort of resistance down here, support at 382.50, guys. So watch out for that. I like the bottom break a little bit more than I like 390, and now I'm watching 405 to 413 as a target entry on a rollover if it gets back to the upside. Brendan, I believe has something for us. What do you have there, bud?
Yeah, we are accelerating southbound side here. Just checking on any headlines, guys. This one from yesterday gave you a nice opportunity on the short side. IGC way up here at 190 came off the rest of the afternoon, kind of continuing this move to the downside. Needs a little volume participation to come in, but IGC very weak again, guys.
Guys, I mean, here we go. And this is what we're feeling like today off of this trade. You can see it right now on your board. This is a $4.50 win here for AMD and still kicking it to the downside. 70. Look where we're short. AMD, 79.20, 79 and change now for AMD. Wow, $5 winner now on AMD. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Here we go, the winners, bang. That, I hope you guys like this trade. Nice trade on AMD. We gave it $1 trail. So right now we can't make any less than $4. So big time trade here on AMD as we continue to go. Our JP Morgan, now we're going to be flat on that one as that gets flushed down. Look at that out, guys, 104. We have a small position now on it, but 104.30 was our out. Good thing because that cracks all the way down to 104 and change. But wow, what a trade on AMD. The trade there of the day for me. So we're barbecuing up some tech stocks today, guys.
Yeah, and Tesla coming down again. I'm going to continue to take some shares off of our DTW as it continues to go down. It's two back-to-back sort of 10% type trades. I did expect a little bit more. I do want to jump you to what's on my alert right now. It's a bit of a penny stock, and it's at SHLO. Look, anytime I see a penny stock ramp up to trying to be non-penny stock again, failing at 95 cents. It's a couple of days in a row for this name. It's a hard reversal. You had this 86, 87 area that it just held a couple of times on the way down. I don't try to predict where it's going to sell off. I just jump in after it does. And I look at this next consolidation here around 80. I already had that level marked down. Initially, it took it out at the open. Now we're going to short off of that in this 80 to 85 range. So SHLO, 40 million in volume. Volume is good. I like the chart action here. Working myself into a short on SHLO. DPW, I've now taken everything I'll take off. About 10% left on this one. If it breaks 190, great. I'll get my target on the last bit of shares. Something you got to do if you're going to be a scalper there. But new position alert. Shorting the penny stock, shorting the small cap. And also just quickly looking over at that Peloton. Still yet to go, but I'm taking that 78 break when it does.
Okay, 102.80, 102.89. We're still stepping into JP Morgan here. I'm taking more long and $5 now in the money on AMD as this stock, the tech wreck continues today. Apple, I mean, this is my biggest I'm embarrassed by it because I threw away my own money on this trade, but in, and then we got taken out at the top there before basically watching this thing drop $10 to the south side there when we should have had that long, but that's okay. Made up for it with our AMD trade, which is just a monster right now. $5 in the money on this AMD trade. JP Morgan, we averaged in. We're still holding some of this, but we took some more down here at 103.68 here. Just believing in this. Probably take a little bit more through VWAP here, but we're using this 103 as a bottom. Got to try to hold something here if we're going to make real money. So 104 and change, trying to go back to the upside. 104.02. We'll take it one more time. If it breaks through 104, I'm also trying to average in here on the downside. So it's not working out because I'm trying to go short. I am short AMD right now, but trying to go long JP Morgan here in a falling market. So we're trying to pick this up. But we recognize that JP Morgan's been strong, up 2% in a falling market. So if it can get going, I do like our chances here.
Yeah, a bit of a first initial scalp trade on that Peloton. It does give you a push right down 50 cents. I slip out of half of the position. I want to be able to pick some more up if it's a consolidation between this 78 break and then that 79. I'd like to be able to get back into it and then work that trade a little bit differently than the initial scalp. We talked about 75 when we went to the higher time frame. It's always a good idea to have some price targets, and I'll adjust this just so you can sort of see on like a 10-minute or sort of time frame. I was basically going back to this chop area here. If you go back to sort of the 28th and 31st of last month, you did have a lot of chops, 75, 76, and 75 was the support level on Peloton. So if this break continues, that'll be the ultimate target. I would be all out in front of 75 if we can get it, looking for a place to dig into a few more shares. I have added to my SHLO position a little bit on the south side. Thank you, Valeria, for the reload. And the buyer that was trying to thwart my target on DTTW has been taken out there. It wasn't by me. I already had my short on. So look, it's just broken 190. I do have this 185 area that I like. We're going to try to get it all out in front of that. Only have a small piece of it left. Been shorting it all morning long in 3 steps and then aggressively getting out towards my target. But it looks like we're going to get it here. Not going to split hairs. It turns at 185. I'll be out.
Thank you, Ms. V, there for a nice little refresh of cafe. And we take a little bit out there at our VWAP for JP Morgan. We talked about buy. And then we just took some out there at 91-ish. I think it was 91 or was it 92? I don't know what it was there. 90, I think. Okay, upside now on JP Morgan. It comes all the way to VWAP. We do get some out there, so we're not going to hold everything all the way until it comes down. So that's a good trade there. Still watching NEO here. I mean, what a trade to the south side if you had that. I keep thinking that we're going to find a bottom at some point here on NEO. 1820 right here is a good little go spot if we can get it. I put an order to go on that, but we're not there yet. It just keeps on falling down, just like my AMD trade keeps doing as well. That's still about $4 in the money, so we got to watch out for that as it goes. But NEO still battling, and JP Morgan battling as well. Definitely love this trade. We've been buying it down here. I'm trying to support this 103. If the market gets going here into a Friday, let's get going on JP Morgan back to the upside, hopefully with a nice little win. If we can get some more shares down here in the 30s and 40s, I'll do it. My bids are there, man, 50 and 40, but there goes AMD. AMD comes out on that retracement back up, so that's $80. That's a $4 winner right there. So we are back in the building right now today with some Superman feelings, guys.
Yeah, and still heading southbound is going to be, of course, that Peloton. But I do want to go back over to one other name that we did have on our watch. I haven't made a trade in it yet, and of course, it's going to be Apple, guys. We are going to get to happening now in just a split second, but it is bouncing back Apple into this 117.50, which was the pre-market low. Need to hold above it. If it can hold above that price, maybe another leg to the upside, giving you like 119. It is 10 o'clock. That means we need to get to Brennan for happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here, see how things are shaping up so far. A bit of a mixed board so far. We are negative on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ leading the way to the downside, better part of 1.5% here. The composite, the 100, both in negative territory. S&P 500 still in the red as well. Just 0.3% though, so coming back to the upside. The Dow already positive once again. It did dip below the threshold, back to the upside now of 0.4%. Russell, the small caps, also in positive territory. Here in Toronto, 0.4% to the downside for the TSX. In Brazil, basically flat today to wrap up the week, 0.09% to the upside. A few things moving around here in Toronto to be aware of. Laurentian Bank, LB, up 5.5%, a little late on their earnings, but earnings did come in better than expected. coming back to the downside here, just broke that bottom end of the consolidation from the opening range type of deal for LB. Air Canada as well. Talking about travel stocks being strong once again today. This one did gap to the upside, but look at that, consolidating right at day lows. Volume coming in behind that as well to the downside for Air Canada. ACB, some of the cannabis names weak today. This got flushed right from the open, 1180 down to 1140. If you go back 2 days ago, 1140 down to about 1120. A bit of an area for ACB. Guys, back over to you.
Okay, here we go. Nice little win once again there on this. So we'll just do the money bags here with the running of the wheelbarrow. We'll back up the wheelbarrow. Woohoo! There, look at JP Morgan, guys. Buy, bang, that one out. So a little bit of a loss here to go, but this was kind of a flat trade because we were able to take some profits out before getting rinsed at 104. But look at this, all the way back up now. Nice little win, 50 cents for JP Morgan. So that's a belly dance win right there. We'll wait to see how high it wants to get back going. I think 104.50 is another spot I'll try once again to go a little more long, but JP Morgan making moves back to the upside here as the market trying to go as well. But let's take advantage of this bump up in the market and get a few more out right now. Nice little 40-cent win on JPM.
Yeah, just watching back over at Carnival Cruise, and we talked about the travel space looking strong initially, came back in, so a couple of longs we had, first one a winner, second one, first shorts, first long we had a winner, second one we had a bit of a loss here, and gonna watch it hold this chop area from 1770 to the upside. I'm now sort of looking at 1830 as a bit of a break. I would also look at that 1860. Ultimately, I still have 1875 marked off. Any long I have in front of that is going to be a scalp trade and a scalp trade only into that high from yesterday, not today. It could roll over at that price. I just got my reload over in Peloton, so that rollover at 79. That's what we're waiting for. So I jumped back into the shares that we already covered on that short. So my price now 78.5. Let's see if that one can retest that 78 bottom, 75. The next level to the downside there. I will also update you on Pennyland, SHLO. I'll call it Shiloh because I like to call it Shiloh. Why not? A bit of a rollover continuing to happen. I like this short in the 80 to 85 range. I have added to it a couple of times here. I'll probably continue to do so. When this breaks 78, our target is going to be down to 70 to 74. I will be all over that as it happens.
Yeah, just a nice little trade once again there on JP Morgan. Took some out at 19s there off of this little long. So that's another 40-cent win there. Just watching it. Here comes Neo back upside again. I got to make sure that I don't have too many of my stop orders ready to go here. And that's the one thing you want to always make sure you clean up your stop orders. NIO, let's go back over to that. I just mentioned it. Looking like that 18 may want to break. What's up, B?
STL, guys, another one from the banking sector. A little one here. STL moving up as well. 5.5%. Just took out day highs here. Big time, 5 times relative volume on STL today through 12.35 there. We're getting into the top end of the daily range as well, guys.
Yeah, no, it's 18.25 needs to go on Neo, guys.
Yeah, watch out, a rocket rolling over one more time. I keep trying to get it a little bit higher and on these moves, and it feels like it just doesn't want to pull back far enough. I liked 25.50 before. It doesn't give you that in the pullback. I'm looking at 25 now. If you start chasing it, you got to start considering tighter stops in that trade. So if I can get it around this like 24.77 break, only give that one to 25, unfortunately.
And boom, we're back again with the sirens. And you know it's good trade when you're hearing those sirens. 65-cent win now. JP Morgan tips all the way up to that 104.50 area. Buy. So nice little trade there. We're waiting at 43. I don't know why, but here comes 43 once again. We'll see if we can get out at 43, 42, 43. Boom, there it is. Rain that money down for a nice little 70-cent win there on JP Morgan. Now waiting for it to keep going up to the upside. Welcome to the show, everybody. If you can, you hit that like. That would be awesome for us. We have, 5,000 or so people watching? Let me just double check how many right now. 5,200 and only 800 likes. Maybe the like button is broken as well. If you guys could hit that, that would be absolutely fantastic. Let us know you're liking the show. And if you're not a subscriber yet, I'm sure you're debating it. And why not just hit that subscribe button, get updated. We're live every single day except Monday. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Have fun with your friends and your family. We're going to be back on Tuesday.
Yeah, just finally got gonna get these locates on Rocket. It looks like here. I had to pay for them, but I mean, it was literally less than a third of a cent, so very, very cheap for us there. And it looks like we hit that. That is an interesting sound.
Right there?
That was 1,000, right? I did see the graphic. Was that 1,000 likes, Valeria? That's what we're talking about. You heard what I said yesterday. Ultimately, I like 2K because it's a nice round number. It is what it is. Thank you guys so much for the support. I am going to get Rocket here for the first time. We did try a rollover at 25.20. It just tested back below that 25 mark. First time we're jumping in here, so short Peloton, short DTTW, that's been in the money all morning long, and Rocket now going to add that one to that list, guys. So it's probably should have had it at that 25.50 rollover. That's what I talked about. Sometimes you're going to miss trades. It happens to you guys. That's why we try to give you our thoughts at the time. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Another one from yesterday, guys. We mentioned this one, VUZI on the NASDAQ, down big time today. 17%. You can see we did take out that recent high, up to $5 yesterday. But right back to the downside for VUZI. Decent volume on that one as well, guys.
Vuzi, okay, VUZI. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I like these little canned up. And this is what we're spending the money on there. All of these little moves and movements by the cameras. What's up, guys? I want to say what's up to everybody joining us on our Trader Nation, Hydration Nation. Let's keep going. Wow, okay, forget about Hydration Nation. Who cares? We got money to make. JP Morgan now to the upside again, 104.60. Hells to the yeah. What's up with this? We slap shot. No, we'll go arrow up for what's happening right now to the banks. We talked about that, and look, I wanted the banks long. I mean, you could see I was in love with the long up here. It drops down. We get very, very patient. We wait for 103 and change, bang it to the upside, and now that's why your boy got right now a sick little 80-cent win on for JP Morgan. We'll find some more winners for you. Let's go.
So watching Peloton fail here, but there was one other one, and it was a very, very similar setup when I sort of looked at that. It was Peloton, and there was also Fastly, which, you know, it's one of these names where you talk about the high flyers, and it was one of those stocks that just benefited so much from the pandemic and those lockdowns. And then I looked over to this 75 area on Fastly, and if this goes, I mean, it's going to get pretty ugly for Fastly at that rollover. I know it's the same price, but it's a very, very different sort of look. It's 78 here, so very similar to what I was saying in Peloton. I like the 75 break, but I can't ignore the fact that 78 break to the upside. It's found some support. I think there's a scalp trade there for you. I like 75 much more than the 76 bottom, so I'm probably going to stay away from it. Do have that Peloton rollover. Not going to take anything till it breaks back through that 78 floor. So you might see me pop into Fastly here for a quick shot through 78 to the upside. But my eyeballs are when this breaks 75, and it's more likely this is going to be next week, the floodgates could really open up. And Fastly is that 75 short. That's what I'm going to have whenever it does take place. So file that one away.
80.50 here. I mean, do I think the market's going to go up or down from here? That's the magical question, because AMD is going to move and it's going to be a monster. This is where we got out. It's right back to where we got out. This was almost, and I'm going to hit it on gun here. Anybody like Street Fighter, put it in the chat there and let me know who you're using. But I'm using this guy, Ryu, here to come go. But $80.50 right now. I'm going to take a long, I think, if we get it back above $80.50. It's risk. I was trying to go short in front of 81, but I'm just kind of thinking the market may have made a little bit of a bottom here, and then if it doesn't, then we can get out at 34.30 on the S&P. But here we go, making moves to the south side. So, all right, let's check out with Brendan on some upgrades and downgrades and maybe get some more trading ideas, guys.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get you a few more symbols to have a look at so far today. Upgrades on this side, downgrades over there. Some, obviously more than this, are going to be out there this morning, but some interesting moves on this board, including this one, DocuSign we talked about. If you joined us between 9 a.m. and 9:30 Eastern, do so. Grab the watch list too. 10% to the downside following earnings for DocuSign, but couple of price target increases on this one today. Broadcom we talked about. Michael's down here. I'll show you that one in a second. Sienna downgraded today. Lululemon downgraded, down 3.5%, and Wayfair as well. Big move to the downside for Wayfair today. Here's Michael's. Nice pop on the open here, up to 1075, but right back down. This is actually looking a little relatively weak at the moment, like it might want to test lower for MIK. Still up about 7%. Here's Lululemon. Nice flush from 372 down to 352. $20 move there at the open. Consolidating as well at the lows, guys. So lots of movement so far today. Back over to you.
Thanks a lot there, Brendan. And retaking that 78, at least temporarily, is going to be Peloton. I talked about sort of reloading into this one. I'm going to see if we can't get that second sort of scalp idea. We want to maintain a short. Like I said, I want to hold this one and make sure that we get a test. If it breaks that 75, fair enough. But I'm continuously taking the scalp out in front of what is this 77 area. So each time I reload, and it's going to be in front of that 79-ish price range, more of an area stop, because Peloton it tends to have a 10, 15, sometimes 20-cent spread. So I don't love hard stops. They can really trip you up there. So allow it to trade in a range and then make a decision. It tried to break 79. I got back in when it snapped right back down. So I'm going to hang on to this. Both times I've taken out in this 77.50 to 77.70 range. Now we're going to hang on to this 78.77 short and look for about a $2 to $3 winner to that downside. When it comes to Fastly, I did mention I do like that break to the upside, but really it's at 75 at some point. I'm going to be all over. I've dug in a little bit more to that Shiloh or SHLO. That's, of course, is that penny stock. And I will update you on DPW, which I came in and sat down today, and this was a name that I knew I had to trade. I saw this one with a sideways action in the pre-market. I mean, it smelled too good for me not to jump into this short. I've had multiple legs here. 185 was my target. It got to 187 and is now bounced. I'm going to trail this one at $2. I only have 10% left in that position. So basically hit my target anyways. Missed it by a couple of cents for 100% of the position. Can't split hairs that way. If it gets back up to that 240, it might be a breakout trade. I think it's unlikely. I likely jump into a short at 225 where we started this whole party.
Okay, so we did go short here, Apple as well. So Apple right now, nice little win. We're short at 70 now, just touches down to 40. We'll wait to get some bids going there. I don't know, Apple just takes out the lows there off their last little tick down. It tried to bounce off of 115. We took that break right here. These little down ticks, and I just posted that. What a bad little buzz there on Apple, because short here. Like my average price up here is 122. We're at 115 and I'm down on the stock. Okay, there we go. Now we just take a nice little win there. So we'll take a swish on that, but that's only 40 cents. We're going to try to get more on Apple here. 40 cents in the money right now, looking for more, guys.
Watch out for DocuSign, about to take out the bottom. 212 even. I gotta put perspective in here, guys. Next support feels like 185 and 200. So as much as it feels like it's down so much from 300, I might have to take this breakdown. We'll look at this 212 level, look at that 210. I think there's some scalp trades involved. When you see the market selling off like this, we thought maybe there'd be sideways action, but after yesterday, sometimes you just got to join the party. 200 and 185 are the two next big levels to watch. 212 on the break. If it gets any lower than this, I'm taking it short.
Apple is crazy, man. I just had a bid there at 30. It went down to like 37 and then just rips back up. Watch out for the liquidity, man. This liquidity is not great.
I believe a trader on the floor, he called it Banana Republic level of liquidity. I'm not sure where he got it from, but I always thought that was pretty amusing there. Oh, look, obviously a lack of liquidity isn't always fun.
Apple, the liquidity is there. Let me not get that wrong. There's tons of liquidity. It's just the levels are just getting blown out. There's maybe too much liquidity here on Apple, actually, as I think about it. Like, we just go all the way there to 116, 117. Now we're right back down to 115, 12. So, yeah, you got to watch out here. These levels are 10, to say the least. What's up, B?
VBIV, guys, little vaccine name moving to the downside here. Just noticed bets that make day lows. We're coming into some support areas on the daily time frame, but not seeing anything in the way of headlines on this. But VBIV almost down 10%, guys.
Yeah, we're not in the money, but $1.50 on Peloton. And one thing that you got to do here is, I'm watching DocuSign, because I feel like if there's one flush in the futures, I could sort of get triggered in to that short. But with Peloton, if it breaks 77, only when that 77 goes and we get the flush down, I'm going to look to trail my stop here. It's very likely that I'll use something around that 78 level. Just make sure that sort of corresponds with the level I like on my 3. But sort of the same thing, right? So once it breaks down, you get past that target consolidation. Then I look to make sure that I lock in $1 worth of profit, 70 cents, whatever it might be. But here comes Peloton to the downside. It was a bit of a structured trade. Some of it a scalp, the rest of it more of a hold. We have direct market access, allows us to have that sort of dual mentality here with the trade. But if it gets to 75, I will be all out of this short position, which just broke 77 now, or at least is trying to. There it is. There's a 77 break. Going to now trail it to 78. Let's see how far Peloton can go. Brendan.
Ho-hum, another day, another $10 move for Novavax, guys. NVAX topped out here at 104. We're now trading below 94. So through 94 now on NVAX. Seems like some of these vaccine names under a little bit of pressure as the market continuing to accelerate to the downside. Valeria is watching what's going on over in Europe. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, German real estate company Vonovia is down almost 5% after it announced €1 billion capital raise. Back to you, Brandon.
Yeah, lots of things to the downside, even over in Europe. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Apple, there we go. We almost got out again. It comes all the way down to 37 there or so. We're waiting at 33 on Apple, so we may have to take this out. This is a 40-cent win right here. Apple, short 70s. We're waiting for this thing to keep falling. There it is. Boom! Nice little 50 cents right there. We're raining down the money now, guys. It's 55 cents, 60 cents winner. Now Apple making lows right here, right now. Look at the futures continue to tank here. So Apple, yeah, nice little win for that one. Just needless to say. JP Morgan, though, we're averaging into that, so we don't know exactly where this one's going to go. But JP Morgan, Apple bouncing, and here's my JP Morgan chart. Just taking some shares here again. We're back into this level that I like, so yeah, we're going to continue to try to milk that one and see if we get some more longs. My last bid there just got filled at 60. We're waiting for some more at 49, and then we'll go from there. But right now, JP Morgan building a short and into a 70-cent win there on Apple. Apple crash out. Dollar winner now on Apple. Boom.
Yeah, I just trailed my stop one time, and I'm going to have to change it again because the Peloton just tested $76. So that at one point was over $2 in the money. Right now, it is exactly $2 in the money on this trade. I was going to give a trail back to that 78 level. I'm more likely to look at something in that 77.50 range to make sure we lock in at least well over $1 on the trade. We scalped a little bit of it here. We did add on the way back up here to 79. 75 area remains my target, but I got to keep moving this trail. Play that momentum. I can tell you that I was all over this SHLO. It ramped up. It sold off. You know, there was a bit of a seller here. I was part of it, I guess, at 85. I'm going to continue to take it out. There's a bit of a buyer here at 78, 79 to 80, that price range. So I will take it off aggressively so that I can short some more if it retests 87. That's the game that I'm going to be playing over here in Shiloh. DocuSign did break 212, so see a new position alert as well. I really don't have anything long here, Sean. Do you have any long positions? I do see.
Yeah, I got JP Morgan long. I'm loving the JP Morgan long, but
there's not much else
for
right
now. Look at the futures.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's not much else here. There goes DocuSign. I talked about 210 was the first level down, so I will scalp some of that short position off. We're going to get about $1 and plus on that trade, and I want to hold through. If 210 breaks, I saw nothing to 200 on DocuSign. This could really go if this market continues this flush. Brendan, what do you have, buddy?
Man, yeah, 70 handles, guys, straight to the downside here. Another one looking weak, SHLL, the other SPAC, or another SPAC, Tortoise acquisition, just hovering here at 47, looking like it might want to break to the downside, guys.
Just taking a little sip of coffee there as Apple now $1 plus in the money, even going down. Bang, 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 bang. Apple finally. We were short all the way up here and actually put that out there for you guys. And again, we talk about this. You can follow all three of us on Twitter, at Brendan, at Sean, at Neil, Trader TV. Valerio will post those links. But look at Apple now just coming to the downside here. We've cashed out 1, 2, 3 times, have 30%, 20% left on still for that. But JP Morgan going the other way, which is fine. This is what we wanted to do. We're not, I mean, obviously I want to go up, but we're not into this too heavy. We're still waiting for 103. Like, I'm not going to average into a long when we see this market, and I'm already short Apple, so we're not going to average into a long too much, but we are taking it on JP Morgan. It's still up that 2%. I don't mind it on this 103 level. If it goes down, we take the hit. That's fine. Well, our average price will be like probably 40s by the time we're all said and done on this. So it'll be like a 40, 50 cent hit on JP Morgan, which was not good. But we'll wait to see if that one wants to continue its move to the downside. But that's all good because look at what we're doing on Apple right now. $1.50 now in the money on Apple on this short. So pigs get slaughtered, but we've taken some out already. And I wish, again, like our AMD trade, that we didn't. Already a $7 win there on AMD taken today, guys.
Yeah, here comes Docu, 210, bit of a buyer trying to hold it up there. I've already taken the scalp out in front of it, so it's a nice win already. But a Peloton as well, consolidation at 76.50, so about a couple of bucks in the money here, just a little bit more than that. Once that breaks, if we get through that 76, I'll trail it again to the top end of this consolidation, and then still look from that 75 half target, somewhere in that range is what I'm going to look for. Now, I just told you about Shiloh, or SHLO here, getting out aggressively in front of that 78 to 80 area. This is why. If it pops back up, I want to jump back into the short. It It is that 87 area that I'm working off of. I will tell you, for the volume that it has, the liquidity is only okay, guys. So you'd have to watch out. No hard stops for me on this stock. You're not seeing the tremendous amount of size for a penny stock that's doing 50 million worth of shares. So you do have to pick your spots on this name, guys. So pay attention on that Shiloh and do watch out just a little bit. Watch your position type, but also watch the level of liquidity. Actually, just quickly overfill the small amount. If it rejects this 87 area, I want to jump back in, but I'm probably going to be waiting to like 84, 85 before I dig into that short a second time. DocuSign trying to come back. I will consider shorting the pop in a little bit, but it's got to be closer to like 213, 214. Brendan, wow, small cap recap already. It is 10:20. Let's go to the big screen for B. Wickens.
Hey guys, yeah, let's touch on a couple of small caps. Really not a lot to look at so far today, just this DTTW really. If you go to the daily time frame, 245 to 250, very, very obvious pivot here on the daily chart. So we were kind of popping back into that 245, 250 area today. I really like this trade. Had too many shares at the open and had to get out of some. The way it was kind of moving back towards that high right at the open was pretty intense. So some buying coming in through that 230 to 235. Got out of basically a third. Still have quite a piece of this trade. Trying to get back down to these levels from where we were yesterday. So 160 was where we ended up yesterday on DTTW. Might take a while, but volume already dying off. This was a great opportunity. Anywhere even using this 235, the high, give you a nice test right into the open there. We're down to 185 on DTTW. So great look there to the downside this morning. This is the other one I was just talking about. Bit of a slow mover so far. Go back to yesterday's chart, 275, 276. Definite pivot for this thing. Held nicely below that, starting to work back to the downside. But another pretty slow day, guys, when it comes to small caps. Back over to you.
Come back and you get this going on. You hit a little confetti action. Look at JP Morgan. Wow, this has been such a big day. Thank you so much for watching and loving what we're doing right now. JP Morgan up right now, 30 cents up. We just took some out in the 70s. We are protecting this 103. We talked about that. We've sent that out to our viewers. Look at Apple right now. Big time mover as well. All the way back to the downside here. We're trying to get some out down here at 114 and change. This is just a big, big trade today. Super happy with the way this day is going out for us. JP Morgan, nice out, man. We're long at 103.40. I told you that would be my average price. So now we got to get back up to 104. But look at these futures, man. They tried to go there and failed. So watch out below if you still got this JP Morgan.
Yeah, watch out. I mean, we haven't talked about the DraftKings yet, but DraftKings is absolutely getting shredded. It's down 6%. Of course, there's a lot more, under pressure names here. Docu's one of them. Peloton's getting crushed. But it might find a bottom at some point, and what I'm sort of looking at here is back towards this like 35 range. If it can make a bit of a hold at 35, the buyers might step into DraftKings. I'm basically putting it on the radar for you guys here. When you go to that higher time frame, this is what I sort of mean. You get that bottom from yesterday. You get some action the 21st, 24th of last month. There was some support at this price previously. If it happens again, you might see me jump into a bit of a long trade on DraftKings. Not there yet, but filing that one away is part of the plan. Reload it in DocuSign like I said I would. If it retests 210, I'll scalp for like $1, $2, and then see if it does eventually give you that 210 break. Playing with some house money here, guys.
Okay there, and yes, sir, Brendan Wickens with some of that news there for us on some of these names. But we continue to trade right now. Boom! JP Morgan is back in the building. I've just been trading JP Morgan and Apple pretty much after destroying AMD. I mean, look at this AMD chart. It's embarrassing now because we're all the way at 78, but look at these shorts up here. Cashed out the last bit there. AMD just continues to fall like mad there. And look at Apple. Boom again, hit the floss off that one. Thank you to everybody joining. Look, let's see how many people we have watching right now. 4,900 right now. 1.5K likes. That's already where we're looking at getting to, guys. So hit that like button if you can once again, and let's get this going. Wow, Apple to the downside again. Just keeps on moving. Look at JP Morgan, though.
These are easy shorts, guys. Easy shorts. I mean, Fastly just broke 75 for you guys there, so I did talk about that level break. It's a big level on Fastly. And then Reload in DocuSign, which just continues to be under pressure. So you take a couple of bucks off this. And look, this stock has moved like $20 here. So you take a couple of bucks at will on this name. I can also get you back over to, I'm going to get into Shiloh in just a quick second, but DraftKings is approaching rather closely. Brendan had mentioned DTTW. I actually thought for a split second I wasn't going to get that 185, but sometimes a market sell-off extends to the least interesting names, and it feels like we just got 185 here. That's the absolute target. Started at 225, added here twice at 205 and again at 210. It's been all short all morning long in this name. One of those that's not that hard to pick up, but I'm going to conclude the trade. Case is closed. We slayed this dragon here in small cap space. We're going to be all out at 185. We got our target. 40 penny move on a $2 stock, and we're in all morning long.
Yeah, and slaying dragons is exactly what we're doing today. You can see at the bottom how much money we're making on all of these symbols here, including JP Morgan. I crushed it yesterday, and today we're even bigger and better on this name. Look at these trades, guys. Down here, busting out. We just take some out at 88 there, ahead of VWAP for a 50-cent win. Once again, dollar on board right now. Also on Apple, cracking low. I should have had a bid down here again. Don't know why we didn't do that, but let's just hold Apple. We don't know where Apple's going to go today, so a good little trade there for us. Obviously, we are short right now, 115.70 after giving the ghost up here and basically getting out at the high of the day. What can you do? The market looked like it wanted to rally off that jobs number, but that's okay because we enact some revenge a little bit. We don't make it all back, but we do pretty good there in the, we try to be honest with all of our trades here, right? So not try, we are honest, and that's just what we're doing. I even tweeted this out that we took a hit there, but then we get right back in, now going to the downside. So big time moves happening right there on this one. And JP Morgan bounces off that VWAP. So again, feeling kind of perfect there, getting the majority of them out on this way back up. What up, B?
Some little tiny mining stocks popping up today, guys. This one, PLM, just took out day highs here through 350. 17 times relative volume on this today. This thing had a split going back to the end of last week. So we're back to 350 here for PLM on big volume today, guys.
Over this one. I did talk about this one as a bit of a plan. 75 was a level that I liked. Did get another leg out there. 74.50, a bit of a buyer stepped up. So again, I'm going to take some profit off on the way down. Still hanging on to it. I got basically no slippage, which is interesting. 74.99 on that break. So we have direct market access, and I use what we call a routing key, which worked out beautifully for me there. You guys love that little toy there, getting a nice look in between all this mess that I have going on. When it comes to Fastly, this is what I was talking about on the daily chart, and this is what we're working with. 72.75 would be that next level to the downside. It looks like it'll give me a couple of dollars if we continue this flush. And from there, I mean, that's one heck of a gap. And it's floodgates opening up if 72.70 does go. I will try to take it all out. We're already in the 3-day spiral on this name with this tech crunch. And it feels like almost whatever you sell is going to work out today. Yeah, I don't want this to be one of those situations where pigs get slaughtered. So I do have a target at that 72.70, at least initially. Then I'll revisit pullbacks. I'll revisit breakdowns through that and 70 even in the off chance we continue to go further.
Yeah, we hit that timber button, Neil, because, that's exactly what the market's doing right now, timbering down. And Apple right now, a $2 winner. So that was a good idea for that. Nice little win there on Apple. And, okay, here's my kids right now. They're just saying what's up to everybody. Good thing they got their helmets on. They're a bunch of rollerbladers right now, getting ready for that hockey season to go. So the cat, and then this is kind of like a dinosaur, but he's got his hockey gloves on there. What's up to my kids? Love you guys, and thank you to their mother for getting them out there and active and not in front of those Apple iPads. But okay, there goes Apple to the downside. We're still watching that. JP Morgan making some money there too, guys.
Yeah, I actually meant to get back into Shiloh, and the good thing that I didn't, at least, haven't really found a spot. The tricky thing about this stock is usually something profiling like this will have big sellers jumping in here all the time. You're not really seeing much of anything, so if you're like 10, 20,000 shares is oddly enough good size on the level 2 for doing 60 million. That's actually nothing. So watch out for this 95 to 100. I took my shot. I accidentally overfilled on a long position that I immediately took off. I didn't want the long. Yes, this would have been a winning trade. Yeah, if I hang on to this at 87, which I didn't want, I'd be sitting there in a winner. But that's not what I do around here. It was a mistake. I had just too many shares. I did take most of it off down here, but a few left on board for that stop. I got out flat. I'm now looking at 95. If it rolls over shy of that, jump back into the shorts. Brennan, what do you got?
Feels like a big move on the market, guys, but it's only 1.8% on the S&P. Just looking for a little bit of relative strength. XOM, here are some of the energy names still in positive territory. XOM up 0.4%. Energy stocks across the board showing a little bit of a bounce at this point, along with oil prices, guys.
Okay. Yeah, the second you said that, I was like, where is Chevron? And wow, look at that. Nice look in the daily chart, 81 on Chevron. Just looking at get back above some, it's actually just positive on the day, 82.28, just holding this little support. It actually got broken at 82 yesterday before coming back in and closing above. I might try to bottom pick this one. It feels like not the worst idea in the world. I like, whatever. You don't like to talk about those dividend plays, Chevron. Certainly a nice name. And I like the fact there's a bounce in oil as well. So I will at least attempt a bottom pick here. It can't be all shorts all morning long. I just took 82.36 right in front of the low of the day. I'd probably add to the position in front of that 82 level, which I'll probably give it to. Not going to give it too deep. When you make money, pretty much all the money I've made has been shorting today. And I don't want to get too far away from that. I'll take a shot at Chevron here at the bottom.
Yeah, we're also $2 in the money right now on our boy Apple right now. That just keeps on tanking. Everything making moves down. SoftBank unmasked as NASDAQ whale. That stoked the tech rally, so thank you so much for that. SoftBank, apparently they're loading up on tech shares, so no surprise there. We'll see what happens now as Apple right near day's low right now, 113 and change. So Apple making moves downside. We're still short 115.70. AMD is my highest stock today, and it would be X times higher if we still had this, but at least you guys followed it and watched this trade all day form out. So there's a nice little top ticks all day on AMD and then bang into the upside. This is how I trade, man. Once it breaks through VWAP, tried to hold a little bit more there. Watch this consolidation at this spot. Saw it break, held that, put the dollar stop in, took it there, rips up about another $2 from there. Tank City ensues. So that's what's happening. Look, $2 in the money on Apple, and we're still in the money on JP Morgan. So got some out on a 59 break here. Hydration Nation, we're already down to 1 p.m. right now. So good little move there. Hitting half-gallon water down already. So let's just keep this movement going upside here. Hopefully in the market upside, but now downside. Apple cracking another 6% today for Apple. Wowee, Brendo.
I mentioned this one, guys, during upgrades and downgrades. Wayfair, wow, Wayfair, 270 up here at the open. We just blew through 240, guys, so a $30 move to the downside for Wayfair. It was Bank of America downgrading this one today, guys.
I almost forgot about this KCAC, to be honest with you, with the tech crunch going downside. But another leg up. I'm watching two levels here, 2260 ultimately at some point. But also looking at this 2375 to 80 area. If it breaks down here, might give you a nice little scalp trade. I'm going to see if I can't grab the short through that 2275 on the way down to 23 even. The volume still remains pretty good on this name. I just got slipped to like 68 on that short. I'll try to add on some consolidation between 24 and see if we get another slide to the downside there. CVX, I mean, I tried Chevron here. I like the news. I like the bounce in oil. I'm only going to give this one to the low of the day, 82. It just feels like why fight the market? If we want to go head southbound and energy doesn't want to bounce, I'm not going to fight it. We'll just hang on to the shorts that are working.
And yeah, what is not working is, holy crow, Brendan, Square. I mean, obviously, I'm not asking for any news. There is going to be no news on this one because 151, 138, almost going SSR right now. So Square getting punched in the mouth right here at these levels, looking to make new lows. I don't really have anything. I mean, check the daily chart. I'm a stockholder of this, and I don't know. Don't think I got it. I think I got the last bit out in this 130 area. I didn't get anything out up here, so that's a big mistake. Square right now looking at that 50-period moving average at about 136-ish, so we're right there right now. Watch out if it breaks that. This is like a very, very interesting spot here for Square. Giving back everything that it's made basically since... August 11th. Okay, so it's only given back less than a month worth. But look at this dramatic drop from 170 3 days ago to 137 today. Watch out for Square, guys. This might be...
You know what's hilarious? To the day, that's exactly where Fastly's bottom was. The recent low that I just pointed out. It's August 1st. Yeah. So and it feels like it's forever, but I mean, you're really not talking about... You're talking about 1 month. So this just came back from 100 Fastly down to the 73 range that we're at right now. Like, I like 72.30. I'm going to hang on to this one as long as we can hang on to it. Look, I took a couple of legs out already. I just showed you that bottom on the daily chart. I think there will be more trades if we continue the slide. But again, like if you're taking the break at that 75 range, I look at that target area, and it was that 72.70. So I will be taking off. The tech rec is still on. I'm going to be covering it. You have to have a target at some point. I like a few other names if it pulls back, and maybe some breakdowns. If it breaks 72.50, that would be the other price to get in. I did add to my KCAC position. Target is 23.25 if it continues its slide as well. Brendan, what do you have for us?
Right on the edge here for Taiwan Semiconductor. Just having a look at the daily chart, guys. Another one from the semis getting absolutely crushed today. 3.7%. Look at the daily chart here. This 78 to 77.75. Big time level for TSM. If it's going to hold, needs to be now, guys.
Brendan and Neil, Apple right now, $4 in the money. I've already had a $5 winner on AMD. We had multiple winners on JP Morgan. Now this is $4 right now on Apple. Look, I feel bad we lost a little bit up here, but who cares? Look at this, 115. We enact revenge on this. This is a $4 winner on Apple. Your boy is here, and we are back. We don't fall in a hole, but Apple does. And I feel horrible because I'm a long-term shareholder and I love Apple, but this is just an opportunity to get more long as far as I'm concerned. Look at Apple, big time move to the downside. 112, $4 in the money. Apple, going, and gone, Neil. What a trade here on Apple.
Yeah, fastly gone as well. We talked about that 75, gave it to you patiently, said wait for it to break. It does give you that break finally. You take this one early, you're going to get maybe stopped out when it retests that 76. I gave 270 as a target. I get out in front of it for the $2 win. Look, if it's going to break lower, I said 72.50, maybe a secondary push. Each time my target's going to get a little bit more slim. If it does try to pull back, I'm looking right back to that 75 level for support to turn into some resistance. If there even is any on the way down here support. And who knows? It could go to 72.50 and chew right through it.
Yeah, I don't know where the support's going to be, but we are supporting our lifestyle with some of these wins here today. So big move up, down 7% here. JP Morgan does flush out, which is completely fine. We dumped like all of our shares up here. We talked about that. Hold our last little bit through this 103, get dumped out there. Now it comes all the way back downside. So JP Morgan's a win here. How many fills do we have? 38 on the day. So we're just about hovering on that stock. So JP Morgan right now, probably leave it alone. I got to just try to trade some stocks that are retracing backside now, including Apple right now. Back up a little bit. I think we can probably give this to about 1/3. I mean, the thing is, the liquidity is here, but these moves are monstrous, man. Like in 1 minute, this is a 113 down to 112, 111.90. So that's like $1.30 in 1 minute. So I don't want to give up the ghost on this. $3.20 now in the money on this beauty, which is Apple trade of the day.
Yeah, and we talk about our winners, we talk about our losers. I'm going to give you a keystroke error that I made, and this is going to be probably the ugliest one of the day. I did jump into a rocket short, and as I was putting in my stop order to be around that 25.50, that was the level I talked about, that was the level I liked. It actually never broke that to the upside, but you will see me accidentally cover that one. I probably should have got back in. This was right around the time when I was looking at Peloton shorts that won and Fastly shorts that also won. So you pick your poison. It's not that I can't have 3 or 4 shorts on at the same time. I should have, but this is one of those ones that's going to eat at me because Rocket, heavy selling. I jumped into the second leg of it, but you got to be a little more careful. I've got to be a little bit more careful there. I did get stopped out very close to break even, but that certainly is an ugly execution, and it's going to happen to you if you trade too many names. And I look at my list today, and it's like over 10 stocks that I've traded, when really it could have just been like 3 or 4, I actually think, on a day like today, sort of digging into the ones that were the best, Sean.
Right.
It is what it is. Obviously, it's going to be a good win here in Rocket. If you guys are still holding on to this Rocket, sorry, I apologize for that chart, it is sort of worth noting they're 21.70 here was a bit of a turnaround and a breakout point. I'm not saying we're going to drop $2, but there isn't a heck of a lot once we get past 23.50 here, and it's like $2 till next level support. And a lot of stocks look like this, so watch out here. 10 cents away from an important level here on Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, Rocket going. We still have our Apple on board as well as we go. So we're just watching that one. And I'm going to go back to Square here. I do think that's a New York stock. I do think Square has a chance to go on some kind of a balance here. So this is not Square. Yeah, 135. Okay. This is what I was looking at, this level right here, 136.25. We've making some tops right now. 136.25 on Square. Give us something else, B.
Clean Spark, guys. CLSK, just saw this one. They're doing some work in Costa Rica, apparently some power work. This is a clean energy company. They had a new grid, a new contract set up for Costa Rica, apparently, but just broke $8 there on a bit of a volume spike to the downside, guys, for CLSK.
$4 now. I mean, I don't even know what to do. CLSK, we'll look at that. Clean strike in a minute. I just keep going back to this Apple trade. We talked about that early, and then we get that revenge on this stock. Now $4 in the money. We've given you an AMD $5, $7, $8 winner. Check out AMD from the top here today. Big time movement downside, but we got to look at some new names, man. We'll switch over to Apple. XPEV moving as well right now. CKAC, we'll look at that as well. But wow, what a big day here on the markets. I hope you guys are enjoying this.
Yeah, I am watching this, the CLSK that Brendan just came up with here. It does have like a 780 bottom worth looking at. All these little pan shots that you guys do, just don't get too much of the thinning hair on the top that I'm working with. It looks like it would be good, and the charts can be deceiving sometimes, volume spikes and everything, but it just took out the bottom. This is what the level 2 looks like in terms of liquidity. So unless you are, this order that might have got some of it filled 776, difficult stock to scale up on, certainly with the liquidity that I'm seeing, unless you're taking advantage of the size in level 2. So I'll probably stay away from it. So many names to pick through today. I don't think that I'll trigger into one that's going to have some liquidity concerns for me. Blink charging. It feels like you can pick your shorts here, and you can basically have anything that's be going to the downside. This one, floodgates at 6 even. I watch this level on the way back up. If it ever gets back to 6 and can't hold above, secondary move to the downside could come. I did just miss Fastly through 72.50. It went like 30 pennies instantly, so couldn't even catch that break. It continues its slide to the downside, guys.
Yeah, everything's continuing, Neil. I mean, everything is just tanking
even
here.
Get that.
This is a $5 winner now on Apple, guys. $5 in the money now on Apple as we just keep on cracking. Is Apple actually going to go down 10%? We were down, what, 6 or 7 yesterday, I believe, at its ultimate. And then now we're down another 8% today on Apple. Get your checkbooks out, guys, and maybe start to think about buying some of this stock. I mean, if you're a long-term investor. For right now, the tech movement is here. We talked about that a long time. I told everybody yesterday that the VIX, for some reason, was making bottom moves there, and we'll show that up to you after we get back from Sector Watch. VIX leading the way here, guys. What's up, B?
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500 now, all approaching 3%. So it feels like just 15, 20 minutes ago, we were talking about 1.8%, now full percent more to the downside. Let's figure out why. We'll start over here. Yeah, it's all about the tech stocks today. Have a look at PayPal leading the way here to the downside, almost 8% for PayPal. Salesforce as well, 7 and change percent. Now Pacey and DXC among the leaders. NVIDIA right up there, 7%. AMD, 5.6%. LRCX and QRVO as well in the semiconductors. Hardware makers as well in big time trouble here. There's Apple, 5.5%. Keys and Net here as well, 4.8% to the downside. Worth mentioning in the healthcare group here, the COO, that was an earnings name, 6% higher on the day. Outside of that, though, this entire group, very, very negative. So these two making up most of the negativity for the overall market. Consumer discretionary names also among the lead decliners here. You can see the durable goods retailers all lower. Amazon getting crushed today, 4.5%. Lowe's down 4.5%. Home Depot down 3%. On the day. So retailers and some of the durable goods makers taking the discretionary group into negative territory. The only group in positive territory right now, the banks. We said it right out of the gate this morning at 9:30. Banks were strong, relatively strong. They still are. Diversified financials, there are a few here that are red. The entire group here of the banks, individual banks themselves in positive territory. Insurance names also in positive territory. Communication stocks over on the far left here. Twitter, Netflix, Facebook, all the big ones at the top today. A lot of red numbers so far, unfortunately. 2.75% for the S&P to the downside, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, lots of things to the downside here, Brendan. Today, good little names there. We'll continue to watch. And I mean, I've got this Apple, and it's still $4, but I think that we may have a little bit of a retracement back upside now. Maybe this mark is done, 2 and a bit percent. We did see the NASDAQ battle back a little bit yesterday, so it's not that it's dead. It's just that that's where the momentum is right now, all through these NASDAQ names. So we could battle back, but yeah, it seems like it's free fall Friday all over the place today. today as we just
It's
continue.
a coin of phrase from the guys on the floor. That's actually one of our traders that I think it got made up here. Free Fall Friday, but
close, no.
who knows? But I'm going to watch Broadcom here because if the market's going to bounce, Sean, Broadcom came all the way back in positive earnings and they were up, actually just holding positive on the session, still up 1%. I feel like this newly made bottom, 353, you do see some chop and support in the pre-market there. If it can break back above like 357, $4 worth of range, maybe to get you twice that back into VWAP. I'm not saying the market's going to bounce here. It actually feels like it might not, but AVGO, Broadcom has been one of the better names all morning long. It did come back in still positive on the session, and definitely if it goes negative at 352, you almost have to short that. I'm going to be shorting it if it does. First shot will be long through 357, just in case the market tries to come back.
Okay, 111. We'll get some bids on here for Apple here, and just to see if we can't get out if it does come back down to 111. There seems to be a little bit of a rip action right now in the market, so let's wait to see where this goes, guys. What up, Beat?
A little oncology name, guys, getting absolutely crushed today. This is Cardiff Oncology. CRDF down 30%, just halted on a volatility halt to the downside. CRDF, guys.
Okay, CRDF, good one to look at. We'll see what happens when that one does reopen back up again. You know, strong name here today, and I told you that I switched out of some of my AMD, and those of you that watched know that we went into some Intel, so thank God for that move. Even though Intel is down, check out what brethren AMD is doing now. 7% for AMD and 1% and a bit there for Intel. So good little look there, switching out into a little bit more of a conservative play with Intel. So good look there. Just to let you know, we still are on that Apple short as it continues to go. I put a bid down here, 111.50 here, to see if we can't get some out, trying to make that cash. It's already 10.50. Wowzers, how fast this day is going for us today. But if you haven't hit yet, hit that like and hit that subscribe. We'll see if we can smash some records there. I think our record on the likes is about 2,000, so we'll see if we can get that.
I thought it was like 17, but I mean, as you mentioned,
yesterday it was 17.
It was 17. I don't know if we've gotten to the 2K mark before.
We have.
But we are at that close to just past the halfway mark. I mean, I think when we get to this point, I mean, yesterday we were well in pace. Valeria, I feel like I want to make a bit of a guess here. I'll go with 12.23. How about that? Is that where we're at for those likes?
No, it's 1,500 or something.
We have 15.
We hit 15.
We just 500 likes away from reaching 2,000
What?
likes. And we have
What was
more
I in
than
the bathroom?
4,000 viewers. Guys, we can do that.
Yeah, when you go to the
Smash
bathroom,
that
Neil, we get
like.
more likes.
Apparently. Yeah, I've been hydrating heavily. I'm not going to lie. I've gone through a little bit more of my water than normal. This is like my fourth of the day. I have some at home on the way in. So I've been hydrating rather heavily. The market is still going, and I'm not saying it's going to bounce here, but my first thought was, okay, Broadcom had been somewhat strong and it held positive. So I did jump in. Just talked about this one. I just gave this one to you. And I did jump in here at 57 when it broke to the upside. I will probably take some out before 60 and then see if we can't get back into VWAP. I'm not going to be greedy. You don't want to be the pig that gets slaughtered taking a long trade in the tech sector today. That feels like a horrible move, and so I'll try not to do that, guys. But let's see if Broadcom can hold up if any kind of a bounce happens. Fastly's also trying to do the same thing at that 72 to limited success. So if you're watching that name, it is starting to also come back in. 70 even. Man, if that goes in Fastly, it feels crazy shorting that stock given how much it's fallen. But like I said on the daily chart, I mean, if we get past this, there's just not a heck of a lot of support in this name. So if it does go below that 70, I almost have to take the short if it goes that far. Seems unlikely, but it could happen.
JP Morgan is right here. What's this bounce spot? 102 and change. Okay, let's just take a small little 100 shares right now on JP Morgan just to test it out here on the bottom. 102 possible bottom. We could go longer if it breaks 102.60 as well, and then ultimate over 103. So JP Morgan right now 102.35 in the money right here, looking for some more. My favorite segment, because this is all that we're here for, and education, by the way, is Money Talks. Brendan, tell me the Canadian dollar is down.
Sadly, no. It is not, but we'll have a look. We're very little changed, but to the upside anyways, for 0.04%, 76.2 for the CAD. Once again, the euro, however, to the downside, 0.4%, back to 118, right on the nose for the euro today. It's worth mentioning the US dollar is getting a little bit of a bounce today. We've seen continued weakness over the past week and a half. So a little bit of strength coming back to the U.S. dollar today. British pound down 0.7%. Back below that 132 area, had been holding as support for the pound. Back below 132 for that one. Both Japanese yen and Swiss franc are higher. Australia, New Zealand again today to the downside, 0.5%. It's been 3 or 4 days in a row. Wanted to show you Bitcoin here. Yeah, huge move over the past couple of days to the downside. Topped out around 11,995. All the way back down to 10,144. So recent lows here, we got below this support around 10,750. So back to 10,100 for Bitcoin. Yeah, a full 7% for Bitcoin, 10% for Ethereum to the downside. Big moves in crypto today, guys. Back over to you.
Big moves everywhere there, Brendan, certainly. And you talk about this in the market, and I just said I didn't want to be the pig that got slaughtered here, so we'll try to be this, and that's that superhero action. Do have some of that Broadcom. Going to hang on to it for a bigger win, obviously, but I'm going to take a couple of bucks off in this consolidation on that little win. It feels like if you're playing the long in anything that's tech-related, you're going to want to take some profits on the way up on today's range. It just can't get very far. A nice little breakout. It holds the bottom, a couple of bullish signs. If you can get through 60, I think it's got some room to run. It just doesn't feel incredibly likely. Lots of these little wicks here are dark pool prints that I have to watch out for, which makes it a little bit difficult to go with the traditional stop orders. I'll use a different one here to make sure I get this little out. I am going to move my stop up. I do feel like now that it's tested 60, if it fails to get through, I do want something closer to that 355, 356, and ultimately, if we run negative on the day in Broadcom at 352, I will be dropping short. I really hope that doesn't happen because I am, of course, sitting in the long position. We'll let that one sort of marinate here, but I do need to get you guys back to KCAC. Very, very active stock today for those of you that are doing that scalp idea. I just got sort of triggered out of this one. I didn't want to fight it too hard while there were better trades on, so it's a bit of a tight stop short here, but this is why you have to stay disciplined if you're going to do this trade. If I hang on, maybe I'm losing $1 on this thing when my target was down to make 50 to 60 cents. No. So I'll lose 15 pennies or so, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's all about risk reward. This is a stock that I think we can be very active in. The next break, not necessarily the high of the day, but watch out for 25 even if it tries to take it again. Some room up to that 25.75. Below 23.50, I think there's some room for this to flush. So I'll probably be looking for a short at some point in KCAC. It's unlikely it would be off that 25 level. I'd rather see it break 25 and then fail to get through the high of the day. That's a much better entry point for me there, guys. Randy in the house, they're giving me the thumbs up. I do appreciate that. But I do want to get you guys back over to what has been a good one to the south side, and that's going to be Fastly. It still continues to fail to find a bit of a bid here. 70 would be that next level. It's trying to put a bid in here at 71.40. We'll see if that happens. I'm not really thinking long, but if I was short, the last out was that 72.70 area, which was previous support. If it gets back above there, might be some bullish times over in Fastly. And as I say that, there goes AVGO. Broadcom through 360. My target is going to be 363, 364. Looking for $5 or $6 on that trade. It'll be the first big long trade that I'm going to have all morning long, guys. Very, very mixed success on anything, but the market is trying to rebound. So you go to the best of breed. Well, it's not really best of breed, but a name that had strong and positive earnings today, had good news, held up and stayed positive throughout the entire session until, testing that low. And if the S&P and both the NASDAQ are going to bottom here, 11.2 on the NASDAQ in particular, I do think there's a high probability we get back into VWAP here on AVGO. Strict retracement play. The higher it goes, the more I will trail my stop up. Next level will be break even once we hold above 360. Hasn't happened yet, but you've got to be willing to lock in profit on a day where you're trading counter trend. Usually I'm counter trend shorting on the way up. This time I'm bottom picking on Broadcom, guys. So we love the support we're getting here, guys. I know you guys are talking about KCAC looking healthy. I get it. There's a lot of buying in that stock. I'm not necessarily endorsing it, saying it's the strongest thing in the world. A lot of it looks like some short squeezes. I've shorted it a few times, and you see people covering those shorts. More short squeezes, I think, if it goes to the top, than people loving it as a long-term buy. That's just my opinion, but that's part of why I'd be looking for that breakout trade and getting it out very, very quickly as opposed to trying to hold it.
KCAC, I mean, anything Bill Gates, I guess, touches seems to be going upside. And we'll take another win right now when we alley-oop the market. Thank you for that one. We take a strong stock in JP Morgan. And now we go longer there. We're longer through 60 right now. Took a nice little trade down here at 30. We're up to 53. We just took some out. What's up, Beep?
Just looking at Moderna here, guys. Just seeing a report. Looks like Moderna planning to slow enrollment in their latest COVID vaccine trial because of diversity. So they're looking for a more diverse group to enroll in the trial. So down on that today, 6.4%. Huge volume spike came in, though, as we broke through 59.5 down to 59, right back above 60 here. Looks like the overall market trying to bounce as well, guys.
Okay, Moderna, I see you there. Yeah, I've had questionable opinions on Moderna there. I did not like what they did when they raised capital after they released vaccine information. So there we go. But who cares about Moderna? I mean, I do, but I'm right now in JP Morgan. We'll look at Moderna. Thank you so much. Look, guys, if Brendan comes with a name like that, especially in the pharma space, definitely worth looking out because all the news right now, all the rage happening right there. Valeria, how are you doing today?
Amazing, thank you,
Good,
Sean.
she's doing good, that's good. Okay, 102.75 to the upside. Maybe we can pan to Valeria soon because she could tell us what's in her Starbucks drink today. I think that should be almost like a new segment. What is in Valeria's Monster? Is that a venti? What is that, a grande?
It is venti.
Oh my God, it's a venti. Okay, there, show that, there, crush it. Oh, it's crushed already. You see, just tipping that upside there. Good for you there, Valeria. Taking down the Starbucks. We'll look at Starbucks. I like that name, especially if the market begins to crash. So here we go. Nice little move up. Apple retraces almost all the way back up. So we'll watch this one. Remember it was down 8%, and I was like, huh? Now we'll see what it does now. Might be a good spot to fade this Apple move to the upside.
Yeah, I'm going to move my trail up to this 360 area on Broadcom, just sort of watching it sort of roll over. I mean, the market is continuing to push, and it just doesn't feel like we can get up to that 362, 363, 364 area where we'd love to be covering it. It is $3 in the money, but like I said, it is a counter trend trade, and I feel like I do not want to throw this profit away too aggressively here, so I will go throw a trailing stop in there on AVGO. Watch out. I mean, there's a big time spread on that name. I did talk about Blink charging. If it could hold below 6 even, it did not. It just burst through 6 on the way back in. So the way I wanted to have this short is it retests that 6 area, fail to get through, and then jump into it. So at this time of day, it's getting close to 11 o'clock. You might want to have a plan of action. Don't just take every single trade that you think might be good. I only wanted it if it couldn't buy through 6 even and showed me that weakness. Then I would get into the short. It doesn't happen. I don't have to take the trade. As much as I'm happy, like I said, with this Broadcom, it just feels like this should have been a $5 or $6 winner a heck of a lot faster than it is. We're in the money $4 here. I've trailed it now. I cannot make anything less than $2 on the last little bit, but I am looking for 3 times that. Broadcom, it was simply positive earnings, held positive in what was a 500-point drop? I think it was from around those tops in the NASDAQ. Managed to hold up a little bit better than the others. That's the only reason I had it long. I mean, bottom picking is a tough one today, and Broadcom almost blind luck that it was on my quote board, and I found out the fact that it was still positive on the day just looking at my quote board.
Yeah, you got to trade the strong stocks. Wow, I'm getting blown out in my ear with those. But okay, everyone's waiting for this, and it's Valeria time. Give us an update on Euro, please.
Hey guys, welcome to the European update. Europe turned red closer to the end of trading hours in Europe. Well, only Stockholm is up 0.19%. Germany at the bottom down 2.31%. Britain is down 1.19%. France is down 1.52%. And Italy is down 1.42%. Vonovia stock is down almost 6% after it announced a €1 billion capital raise. That's all with the Europe. Back to traders.
I'm going to do the first backflip. I was saving it for the time when I actually made money on a long position. AVGO gets up to VWAP. I just took it off, so we do get the $5 win on the back end of that trade. I didn't really have anything else to give you guys for bottom picking except for AVGO. It was unsuccessful in Chevron, losing basically like 30 pennies on that trade. And that's the whole idea. If I'm going to go counter trend, it was a tight stop on Chevron. Maybe I'll go back and look at it and say it could have been a winner. But either way, I did prefer this in Broadcom. It does give me the win. I'm not going to be greedy here, guys. Maybe the market can hold up and give you some sideways action. And if the market goes sideways, there's a decent chance that Broadcom could make a retest to the top. I'm not going to make that bet. I'll be happy with the winner that we have on here and actually think about if the market rolls over, where do I want to jump into some more shorts?
Yeah, and thank you. I want to say what's up to Ace Enzo there for the comments on the chat with the energy. Much appreciated, man. We're trying to bring you guys as much energy as we can on the show. So thank you so much here. I saw where was Ace Enzo? It was on here somewhere for the energy. There it is. Thank you so much. A couple bangs. Membership there, Ace Enzo. Thank you so much for that. Look, we're trying to keep it for you guys. All this movement in the market today is crazy. So kind of easy to have a lot of energy today, I find, with what's happening. So watch out for this movement here in the market. Bouncing around, making moves upside now. Watch out here if you are long anything. We did have a nice little move off that bottom, 33.48, straight up like 90 handles back. So what a handle is just a tick. A full movement on the S&P 500. So 33.74 to 33.73 would be one handle. We just made a 90 handle move down.
Sean, speaking of handles, before we go to Brendan here, we did do some videos on the futures for those of you that don't know what we're talking about when Arun does come on. But coming up today, we actually have trading terms. You said handles, the trading term. I thought it was a nice segue. So we are dropping a video on our Market Wisdom page. It is about trading terms. You hear us say lingo all the time, and I apologize. Sean and I have been doing this a long time. There's things that will come out of our mouths. Some of you don't understand. This is all about clearing that up. Probably do a bunch of these ones here. We did do one, and we're dropping it today. So check it out on the Market Wisdom page. Now we can go to my good friend Brendan. What do you have for us?
We were talking about Lululemon earlier, guys, with a downgrade today, 7 and change percent here to the downside. Could not, I was just watching it here at 352, could not get back above 352 and hold. So market's starting to roll over here. Looking at Lulu, guys.
Yeah, Lululemon there. Obviously a great stock, great apparel maker there, but a lot of these tech, they're kind of like a tech stock the way that they move. So Lululemon as well going. I'm going to take a little bit more on JP Morgan here, see if we can continue to bottom pick this name on any movements down. I do like it. It's resisted this. We have a nice little consolidation here. I'm going to pick up some more JP Morgan. I think that's going to be a good trade for us.
Yeah, I just want to go over to this PD and if you just literally shorted this stock off the open the last couple of days, I mean, talk about an easy ride to the downside. And it's been an absolute sort of free fall action. I think even more extreme than some of, when we talk about whether it's Fastly, if you talk about any of those high-flying tech names. But once again, into support from, you go back into like May, July, August at this $23 range. I mean, my goodness, if this stock, holds up here, fair enough, could give you a bounce. But man, if we cannot hold this price range, there's still another couple of dollars worth of downside action on a 23 break in Pager Duo, whatever the heck they call this thing, PD. I'd look out below through 23. Definitely going to be a key level that's on my watch. I didn't think it would happen today, given what it had fallen in the last few sessions. But here we are, only 50 pennies away from a big-time bottom in PD.
Wow, rocket. I mean, what a rocket this one's been to the downside today. I think Neil may have traded. Have you traded this today?
Which one?
Rocket?
I don't
know. Only because it's down 10%.
That's cold, Sean. That's
what?
So this was the keystroke error that I made on Rocket.
Right. Okay.
Where my 25.50 stop. Like what'll happen sometimes is you put it in there, you put the price wrong, or you use the wrong key and it just punches you out. That's what happened to me. Okay. I'm trading multiple things.
Sorry. No. All I was talking about here. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, Neil did talk about that, and we did talk about keystroke errors. And I know Neil did a good job. Now that I remember it, when you get into one, you got to sort of deal with that, and that's trading. And we actually have more videos on that as well. But I was only looking at it because we just made a top there at 24.15 off that rally off the 22 bottom. So I was just looking at it because it triggered down 10%. So that's really the only reason why I brought that up. Didn't even notice that we were down here all the way down there. And it kind of making a nice little bottom similar to JP Morgan. I just want to look at something else. JP Morgan, we've been averaging into this trade, and I still have this 102 bottom break, which could happen. I think it's a little bit of rotation. JP Morgan was strong early on. You can see it's still up that 1%, even though the market's down 2.5%. So I still think there's some catch-up happening here, but they may sell this and rotate into tech. Some of these tech valuations are super low right now.
I just literally sorted my quote board of all the things that are my hot watches to what's positive, and it's like that SHL penny stock, it's KCAC, I mean, it's that DTTW small cap stock, Domo, and then IGC. It's literally Broadcom, JP Morgan, and Gilead that are somewhat, I shouldn't say legitimate companies. I hate to use that word, but I just used it. Apologies to any of those other companies there. But those are the types of names that are holding up. And then CVAC, which we're talking about the news there with Elon Musk, developing possibly some vaccines in Germany. It's actually making a bit of a bottom off 57. The only problem, and the reason why I don't love it today, it's going to be volume. Less than 500,000 shares. You're seeing it taper off. There were a couple of spikes. You're on the way down. So, I do like this one. I feel like it could be relatively strong, and maybe there's going to be a trade here because there's some consolidation in this name as well. When you go to the daily chart recently, it could possibly break out at some point. I just don't know on the volume it's doing today that it's going to be this day. So we're going to file this one away for next week. Watch for support down at that 55 level. It's somewhat holding up well today. I just don't know if it's going to make a move today. I'm certainly not going to bet on it unless a big volume spike happens on CVAC.
Okay, yeah, and that's the good analysis there. We'll keep looking for some of these volume spikes to come. Right now, I just keep it on JP Morgan because this is really the only trade that I have. I still have that Apple short, which is $1 and change in the money. It was $5 in the money. That's how much this has come back. And look what's happening right now. JP Morgan is continuing to go down. Neil just talked about one of the only symbols live right now in the green. And yeah, they're coming back to the downside. So they may be looking to turn red. So we're not heavily invested, but we do have a decent position on right now on this JP Morgan. So if this falls through 102, it will hurt a little bit, but that's what we get for trying to pick up something strong on such a weak day. And here it goes. JP Morgan looking like it wants to give this back as Apple continues to fall now as well, finally. Brendan, give us something.
Speaking of catching up here, guys, Cleveland Cliffs just now surpassing that 2% mark. The market obviously significantly more than that. Like how this chart looks, directional move, tight little consolidation. We're consolidating right at day lows as well. So CLF, another one looking very weak, guys.
Wow. The funny thing is you mentioned Rocket here, Sean. And I'm kind of really liking what I'm seeing at that 24 to 24, I guess call it like 15, 20 or so. But I'd almost rather have it break down like 23.50 for me to jump in any kind of a short position here rather than just sort of get reckless and trade it. Now, keep in mind, it is short sell restricted, so it's down 10% or more. What that just simply means is if you like 23.50, you see it on the bid and maybe there's some size, you can't hit that bid, sell to that buyer unless you get an uptick. So it has to be a green print as the last print. Makes it tricky for breakdown trades. Of course, you can work into something in a range. You can sit in front of it on the way up. It just means that those breakdown trades will miss them. And it's important because I probably missed at least 2 entries on SSR stocks today for that reason. It broke down and I couldn't hit the bid as it went through. It's gonna happen to you. It's gotta be part of your plan. You just can't get that sort of reaction where it's like FOMO or you get angry or you chase it too far. When something is SSR, you might not get that fill. Brendan, what do you got?
If, guys, on a day like today, when the market is so negative and trending to the downside, you see a stock pop up that has been making all-time highs, worth having a look. This is eBang International, little Chinese computer hardware maker. EBON up 17% today. Just took out day highs there on decent volume as well, so still going up. EBON, big time strength, guys.
Wow, eBang. I feel like that's a stock that I should be trading with the bangs there. But okay, one stock again that I think that we haven't really paid too much attention to today in this drop, and I apologize because normally this is a name that we're on, and that is the electric Chinese car company NIO, getting woodshedded today as well, down another 10% off of. Actually, yesterday wasn't so bad for NIO, but you're seeing what's happening right now down here. I can't not believe how this got blown up. Here on this 17 break, guys, bang to 1560 right there. So a big move down here for NIO. Trying to find an area to get long here. Going to switch over the charts to a 3-minute. 1 minute right now, not great. We'll look at a little bit more of a time frame right here. So we'll go for a 3 and switch that up. And all you can do for our software is we're with Day Trade the World, so you guys can come aboard. Check that out, daytradetheworld.com. Valeria will drop the link. There we're able to short, do various things here as we go, and it also comes with the charting platform. So there it is. Just switch so easily like that to a 3-minute chart, and still, I still can't ignore this. I'm not going to be going long NIO because I don't want to get flushed out in something like that, but I want to bring that to everyone's attenzione.
Yeah, we show our wins, we show our losses. And I talked about the bottom pick that was successful in Broadcom, but I want to go back to Chevron. Brendan came with news. You had relative strength overall in some of the energy space. You had oil prices moving to the upside, and there was some consolidation holding the bottom when the market was trying to turn. So for me, take a shot on Chevron there. But I had a relatively tight stop at 82, and if you get stubborn with something like this, now you're sitting in counter trend, out $1, out $1.50. You have to have a plan going in, and that's doubly true when you are trading against the grain of the market. So thankfully Broadcom did work, but CVX did not, even though I do like Chevron overall. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Guys, if you remember back on Wednesday, we had that big pop midday in the airlines because there was rumors floating around that Trump was going to come out with some aid for airlines. So apparently, White House advisor Kudlow just saying matter of weeks, so weeks on the aid for airlines that have been hurt with the lack of demand because of the pandemic. So just watching AAL here still, yeah, relatively weak on the day, but that news just coming out, guys.
Actually, we got a super chat here, and I kind of missed the name. Is that PYT? I'm going to butcher that name if I try it. But the question was GIVO. They just got, of course, if you're under $1 too long, the NASDAQ is going to possibly delist you until you can hold above that price for a specified period of time. GIVO had the positive notice that they've regained compliance. Now, a couple of things here. They got a big contract with people had a lot of trouble calculating the actual value it means to the company. It doesn't start till the future. And then there's some question about how big it will actually be and how far some of those purchases are pushed into the future. Now, if a stock gets that listing notice and then cannot hold up, and I'm talking about the fact that basically just turned negative on the day, retesting that $1 bottom, that's not a good sign. And I was actually on a podcast with a journalist here, Trish Wood, where she was asking about the stock GIVO, and I said, if it can't hold above $1, that's not good. If it can't pop on news like this, I mentioned to you, Brendan, I'm going to short it. And if this breaks $1 today, I am hammering this short. You should be getting some kind of a pop there and a catalyst like that. It just means the buyers feel a little bit exhausted. That's a pure price action play for me on a small cap stock. Nothing necessarily fundamental because I don't really see how that contract is going to be viewed horribly positively. You see what happened on the spike up? No continuation whatsoever when you got a deal that was multiples of their actual market cap. No one's really believing it, I guess. I'm shorting $1. I'm going to continue to short it, probably to 80 cents. We'll see what happens in GIVO. It looks weak to me.
Casey AC making moves back up. Yeah, you got to watch those dollars and those listings and those requirements. We saw what happened to Luck and Coffee as well. That was on some accounting issues. So, darn it. Every time I call up Apple, we get those WIC issues here. Okay, I like an Apple short through 113.50 if it can go, but the market looks like it wants to get strong again here. So we did get flushed out, and of course now it's coming back up. So, but we did get flushed out of that 102 break on JP Morgan. So it goes down as low as 101.70 there. But that is a break for us on JP Morgan. So out of that trade, which is fine, but not fine. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. 102.30 we'll get back in and we'll take some serious shares there. 102.30 if JP Morgan wants to get back going. We'll put on a real big spot, hopefully, if that happens. So I do like that. Right here, it's this bottom. We could just take off all this garbage that just happened. Then we'll go long 102.30 on JP Morgan. Short Apple if it gets to 113.50 again. But Apple right now is running right here. So back up to 115, basically where we're short. That's fine. We've already cashed in on this Apple trade. We didn't take out the ultimate bottom at 111. Should have realized that. I was pounding it a little bit when we were down 8%, not understanding why we went down that far other than the rotation out. But look at Square. I hope some of you had that trade. I went right over to Square and said, oh my God, look how far down Square is. 134, couldn't believe it. Didn't take any longs, but Square right back to 140, 143. All of these moves right now seem pretty overextended to the backside. So I'm a little bit nervous about taking any longs right here. Looking to fade into something short, I think.
Yeah, and sort of one name that I feel like has been horribly neglected today. I mean, I don't even know that I've mentioned too much of Tesla. It just feels like there were a lot of better plays here. We did talk about it in the pre-market, and I did give out a couple of levels. One of them was actually going to be 365. It turns around at 372. It's going to be close enough, but I went back and looked at the price-adjusted pre-split, and that's where I got that 365 area. It is still in a downward trend, trying to get back northbound. So if we catch... I mean, if it breaks 390, you're probably looking at only like a $5, $10 type of scalp trade, but it might be in the cards here if we are really turning northbound. So watching Tesla once again. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
One from a couple of weeks ago, guys. We were talking about XERS. I think it was this day. It had a huge move from $3 up to $5 and then right back down again on some news. So XERS back to the downside today. On a miss as far as one of their treatments of pharma stock, a miss on one of their treatments that they're working on as far as the FDA is concerned. So down about 13% for this one, guys.
All right, AMD. Again, I'm trying to find something that we really like that can get back to the north side here that already really hasn't gone because you're seeing Apple retracing almost all the way back, not all the way back, but at least to 116 right now goes Apple. So AMD could. I was looking at this little spot here, the bottom of 79.25 there. Wicked up there, so I think it's 79.50 or so is a decent long spot here if it goes on AMD. We'll start it right here though, 79.30, and then we'll try to go a little harder at 79.50. We're not there yet. You still got a couple more pennies to go, but I think I like that spot for AMD. But again, if you are thinking about a short, this is also a great spot to look short on AMD, which might be the play. Short right now ahead of 79. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go short a little bit and use this 79.25 as our out as the futures rolling back over a little bit here.
Yeah, just watching a Wayfair here as the futures, like you said, rolling back over. And this 250, just shy of this 250 area, was a bit of it was first support and then a ramp to the downside at 249. You do have VWAP here as well. So if this rolls over, Wayfair, which we've said this on the show before, I mean, there's obviously a lot of names that have done this. If you go all the way back into the bottom here, like a $20 stock that goes to like almost 350. Look, this consolidation area here, like 205 to 225, it just feels like that could be the actual bottom of any move. Meaning if it holds below 250, we could continue this slide in the afternoon. And I like that level. If we turn around, you kind of get like 245, 246, 247, risking $3 to $5, and then it only has to give you a halfway retracement for a good risk to reward. So I like this one, but I want to see it go down first. I want to catch it on the way in as opposed to shorting it on the way back up. That just feels a little bit reckless for me as the market's rolling over. I'll allow Wayfair to start selling off and then try to join the selling party, possibly through 45, 46.
And AMD, look at that. We have an idea. I got to find my little idea thing there. We got that idea about going short, and you're welcome. We just took out 20 cents there. 67s was our out. We're short 90 there, so I think it's a pretty good trade as we go on AMD. So let's watch and see how far this one wants to go down. Still using this 79 quarters as an out. So AMD could give us the trade that we want. It just needs to come through for us. Now, we are bidding again on AMD. We only cashed out once. So down here again, good trade. We're short right now, 78.90. It's at 78.60. So AMD, good mover downside here. Let's see how far, though, this one wants to go. AMD, we got a little area out. So the area out's going to be a 40 cents. So if we can take 30, 20, 30 on this one, we'll be happy with that. That's AMD, guys.
Yeah, and it looks like Wayfair is testing back up to that 250. Not there yet, but I just saw 249 tick up. It's got to fail 250, break 245 for me to get in. I do want to bring you guys back to Kensington. Yeah. So about that breakdown through 24. I mean, obviously, you're going to see a wick like this. If it moves 80 pennies, $23 stock in a minute, it's going to be tricky to get that short. So I'm going to have missed this opportunity to catch this break through that 24 area. If it does another push to the upside here, I feel like I might test it back in that 24 range to the short side. Now, technically speaking, there's been a couple of shots here. I still like this 25 to 25.75 area. If it breaks up and then fails, I'll short it that way too. But if 22.50 goes, I'm going to drop into this short. It consolidates here and makes another leg down. I'll try to catch it. Yes, I missed 24. If it does another one, that could take you all the way down to 22 even, guys.
I was going to say, watch out for some upside here as we continue to go right now. And AMD coming back a little bit. We've already cashed out some there for 30 cents like we talked about. And we still have the upside move happening to 79.25. If that happens, we'll get out. So we tried it. We're flat on the stock now. So it's fine. Sorry, we're still in shares, but the stock is at our price right now. So we're going to give this to up here. And then I guess, I don't know. I just wasn't sure if we should be going long or short. That's why we did cash some out. But we still are holding Apple short and AMD short. The Apple one we've been holding for a while. NEO, we just talked about that about 3 or 4 minutes ago. It's coming to the backside now again, trying to make some moves up here. Oh no, is my chart frozen? No, it's not. There it is. We'll double click that. This is a 3-minute chart again. 1706 looks decent on NIO, Brendan.
A little bit of relative strength, guys. American Express here, a name we don't typically talk about, but came back into 105 and change for a second time and seems to be holding. So it actually looks pretty good on the daily chart as well. We're back above 105. For AXP, this thing's up. Yeah, up 1% on the day, guys.
Yeah, another one that's actually up to holding up is Carnival Cruise Lines. I tried a couple of longs here. The first was like I wanted to dip buy in front of pre-market low. That worked. 1790 to 18 was the area that we talked about. And again, this was like the top of our watch list, and the idea was a dip buy. I double dipped here a little bit too early, so we end up giving back what we made. Now the other look here can be finally put in a higher low. If we can hold, maybe consolidate around 18, gives you a bit of a breakout through that price, call it 1805, in that range, back up towards high day, could be a nice little scalp. If the market's going to come back, there's at least a decent chance it's going to be led by not necessarily, it's going to be some tech names, but some of the relatively strong names, and Carnival has had some positive news the last couple of sessions. This could be one through that 18 that I'll pick up if this is trying to make a bottom in the markets. Brendan, what do you got?
Just a heads up, guys. Apparently the president will be speaking at 11:30 this morning. So under 10 minutes, we might get some comments from the president, guys.
Jobs. Apparently, he already tweeted out some job stuff there, Brendan. So we know that he's always banging the table. He is your stock market president. So watch out for that. I don't know if that means the market's going to go up or down when he comes, but just watch out. Thanks, Brendan, for that. And if you just need any tips that he can move the market, then maybe you're in the wrong spot. But yeah, that's a good one.
He is the POTUS.
Sorry, Neil?
He is the POTUS, right? I mean, ultimately.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, I think if you're trading the airlines, like, watch out. We talked about support in those spaces. The stimulus package has yet to come through. That could be a definite big boost to some of the recovery names, which some of them are holding up at least a little bit well today, as you do see the stay-at-home names getting crushed. There's a flip side to that. That could get an even stronger disparity if there is any positive push when it comes to that stimulus. I see some breakdancing, and I'm at this point where, like, I went to the bathroom and you guys crossed like 15. I don't know what that means. Like, is it a sub number? Is it going to be 800 million likes? So I'm just going to go right to you.
I think it's the latter.
I'm going to go right to you, Valeria. Just let us know what's going on here. Obviously, the market's fantastic, and you guys are having a lot of fun, I hope. But what did we just hit?
Well, Neil, we're just 200 likes away from reaching 2,000 likes.
Okay.
So can you please rush traders to kindly like this video?
Yeah, you ask them. Yeah, we'll ask them.
Come on, let's give Valeria what she wants here. Let's see that moonwalking action again as Valeria does her best Billie Jean. You know, the person who probably inspired your favorite artist. So you know, Michael Jackson, the moonwalk. Justin Bieber definitely taking some of his lead from the greatest entertainer I think of all time. There, Mr. Michael Jackson. But she won't do a real one. We'll do a virtual moonwalk, hopefully, if we get to that 2K. Thank you guys for that support, but only 200 away.
Yep, exactly. And I'm starting to think that picture is not Valeria doing the moonwalk, but a little bit of a spoil there on that jump. But okay, thank you again for all the support and the likes and the subscribes. And look, we're hitting those like levels. That's fantastic. Help us spread the love here. This is a free show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with everybody you know, and we can all make some money. Someone said, is this the beginning of the end here for the stock market? You know, who knows? We're only back to like 2-3 weeks ago levels, so I don't know what's going to happen here. We did have a huge move upside. There's a lot of issues and questions with some of the valuations on some of these tech names. How many more upgrades and whatnot can this market handle right now? I'm not sure, so that's why I think there's obviously a lot of selling happening in some of these high flyers. AMD touched $90 not too long ago. 94.95 I think may have been the top, so that's why you're seeing this one get spun off. Let's tell you exactly what the top of AMD was, actually. Wow, yes. I actually didn't even really know that, but it is 94.30. So I said 94.95, all the way retracing back. And this is what I'm talking about. We're only back to July, let's call it early August levels. So we're early September. We've only given back a month worth, but that was a crazy month. So let's wait to see where we want to go from here, guys.
I give up. I can't get this KCAC short. It's just like, wow. I mean, first 24, then through that 22.50. Look at how quickly it's coming back in. It is what it is. I mean, like, you can have an idea. You got to get the execution, obviously, and I think that's a bit of a fail on my part. I could have just jumped in on consolidation. Instead, I wanted to break down. And if you want to break down trade, you got to understand if it goes too fast, you might miss it. Consolidation is another way to get into a trade. That's the difference. Look at that ramp down. It's a $2 move in just a matter of minutes. That's how fast some of these things can come back in. And I mentioned as it was positive on the session, relatively speaking, it didn't necessarily mean it's going to be a strong stock the rest of the day, guys.
And we haven't used this in a bit, but check out AMD. Bang! We hammer AMD to the short side. Bingo, bango, bongo. Let's go 1 minute chart on this one. AMD to the downside right now. Just ticking this down. Short here, 79. We talked about why we're giving this to 79.20 or so. Did not happen. Did not get stopped out. Now we have a 50-cent win on AMD. Downside, there's some consolidation down here at 78 and change. So we'll see if we can get some out down there. Apple, $1.50 in the money as well. Super pleased about how that's trading. Making some moves back to the downside. Watch out. We are going to go short there. Apple through, what did I say before? Hold on. I got to check my orders. 113.60. Let's just make sure we still like that level. Yeah, that's right down here. We'll take another shot in Apple, see if it retraces back down. But 113.60 will be a shot here in Apple. We already short $2 in the money on this one, guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here. I mean, the market is starting to come back down, so you can probably throw away that CCL. But think about some of those breakdown trades that we were talking about before. You know, we were talking about Peloton a little bit. We were talking about if Fastly could fail to hold up. Fastly does not get through that 75 mark. If it does roll over one more time, it's going to be 73 for me to the short side. So you look at some of those names that failed to make those breakouts, and then just say to yourself, if we get another push down, who do you want to dump on again? Go back to what was successful for you. So, obviously I had a good short in Fastly before. I'll look to rinse and repeat. If we take out this bottom, it is what it is. I'll have Wafer 245. I'll have Fastly through 73 as well. Brendan, what do you got?
One that was very strong earlier in the week, guys. Earnings earlier in the week on Bloomin' Brands. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see this even today. 4.4% to the upside for Bloomin' Brands, restaurant operator and all, Bloomin' Brands. 1720 here, looking like a bit of a problem. Was support early on. Bit of resistance here for BLMN, guys. 4.5%.
Wow, okay, big move there. When I thought you said Bloomin' Brands, that was Red, White, and Bloom. We had those guys on the show before as well. Of course, psychedelic spot there. No, they're cannabis, so Red, White, and Bloom. Okay, we did take some Apple there. We are getting a little bit out here on this breakdown side. Let's go. Apple right now, popping the wheelies off now. We just talked about why we liked this and where we liked it. So now we go short on Apple. Again, I was just bidding 32. And did we really just stop there at 35? Got to pick my spots a little bit better there, trying to get that money. But Apple, we are short. We took some of that off. So good trade there. AMD, look at this one, guys. 78.30. Big time wins happening on AMD. Out at 40. We'll put some even lower than that. We got to watch our Apple. That's the spot that we have on.
I see like a question directed at me, and I'm gonna try to answer it the best I can. Why is Tesla dumping? You're seeing almost all of the tech space sell back in. You talk about the split. From here, you're still looking at like 1900 as the relative price, right? And this is a stock that if you go back to just May, was at $800. You get a ramp up like that, there might be some selling. But the other flip side of that was, look, there was heavy call buying action in the market. And you heard Sean talk about this with the VIX. VIX moving up at all-time highs in the overall market. That's usually the opposite of the relationship. There is some leg to some options brokers having to hedge, and that was buying on the way up, whether it was individual stocks, whether it was the Qs, whether it was the futures. That gets unwound, and you will see some of these names start to sell off a little bit more heavily. It just feels like that's what it's been. If you haven't been following along, it's something we've talked about throughout this week. It's not that there's, I'm not going to say it's something particularly wrong with Tesla, but when you get a market move up like this, when it starts to roll over, if those same buyers aren't there, yeah, you see a flood of action to the downside. If it goes up fast, it can go down just as fast. But just keep things in mind, guys. This is still $1,900 effectively on Tesla. This was an $800 stock just go back a few months ago. This is a $350 stock from that bottom over there in March. All things in perspective, people. So I know it's crazy for day trading, but it's not even, I mean, it almost seems comical to say it there. And I saw that roll across the screen, but I missed it on mine. Was that 2K? Please tell me it was 2K.
It is 2K. Yay! Fireworks.
So where's your, I want to see the moonwalk. You gonna moonwalk?
Just was.
No, I want to see you moonwalk. I don't know, we can work on that one. I can't do it myself, so not really that good for me to call Valeria out and put her on the spot because I could definitely not moonwalk on the stage. I would make an absolute mess of it if I even attempted to do that. I do want to go back to one name, and it feels like you get market moves like this, and it sort of behooved me to jump into some of the faster moving names and make some money shorting. got away from a SHLO, and it was a sort of mixed bag for me shorting it the first time. I did take some out for a winner, but the rest of it was about break even. It never could take out that buyer at 79.80. If it does, I'll short it in the afternoon. But for now, a lower high got put in 90 to 91. That's a nice little price range to work off of. If it retests it,
Apple,
I could jump back into it again, but I am going to hammer this one through like 78 to 80. If it ever breaks that, I think it's going to be a nice little winner. Just watch out. As good as the volume is, the liquidity not as fantastic as I would expect. So you can't lever up as much as you would normally like to just watching that level 2 here. Rather thin.
Yeah, we just got out of some Apple, but we'll get back in. We cashed out of some and then got out of some, so basically a flat trade there on Apple. We'll go one more time on this name, give it up to about 115 and change. If it wants to rally, it's going to rally. Europe is now closed, so we can see what happens there after European markets close. Sometimes the market will tend to reverse, like it's doing now in a big way, so we'll wait to see on Europe now and what happens.
I'm doing a backflip, Sean.
Yep.
And it's not that it's the greatest trade in the world. It's just that in baseball, if you hit 1 for 3, you go to the Hall of Fame. In trading, if you hit 1 to 3, you're going to be disappointed. So I missed the break at 24 on KCAC. I missed the break at 23 on KCAC. I do get this second break on 22. I do take some immediately out at the first stop level. 21.50 was a level in the pre-market. There was some consolidation down at 21 even. So scalping out of it basically instantly. It gives you 50 cents, then 80 cents. In the blink of an eye. This is how fast it's been dropping. I'm telling you, it was almost impossible to get the other breaks. Yes, it's positive on the day. It just doesn't mean it's going to hold up forever. This is 2 days in a row for Kensington. This is what happened. Of course, we don't have any date when there's going to be when the changeover happens overall. And again, all things in perspective, as good as that looks to the short side, this was $11 before the announcement. Of course, this is possibly going to be a solid EV battery company. So shorting price action here, not necessarily anything fundamental.
Okay, we're going to get some more here short, hopefully, on Apple as we continue to go right now with this Apple move to the downside. We're short now 114.20 on this. We averaged in here, traded Apple pretty nicely here to the downside. Didn't cash in any on that. We'll see if it wants to flush one more time. AMD, great outs down at the bottom, man. 23s, 30s on AMD. We are short, of course. This name, 79. What is it? 78.90. So a nice little 8 cents now, but we did capture 60 down there on the downside. So the market's making moves back to the upside. We need Europe to close here. I'm going to hold Apple all the way to this kind of a top right here, 115.80 or so on Apple. We'll hold that. I made the mistake here, was shorting, got blown off. I'd hate for that to happen again, but hey, if it does, it does. You got to stay disciplined and trade properly. So we're going to give it to 115.80 and hope that it doesn't get up there and we get blown out again. But Apple really the only negative stock here today. JP Morgan slightly negative as well, so we'll wait. But SQQQ, let's check out SPXU right here quickly. These are one of those inverted ETFs that we always talk about. Up that 7%. Brendan.
A little one here, guys. Still looking for some relative strength. Sin Media, National Sin Media. So this company operates an in-theater advertising agency that you can run ads on before movies start. Yeah, this is up 23% on the day. There was an upgrade on this name today. Just took out 450 there, or tried to take out 450 on a huge volume spike. So big time relative strength, to say the least. NCMI, guys.
NCMI. Why not add that one to the list? I'm going to go over something because, look, obviously there have been some good shorts, and we try to talk about discipline and go over some of these things. One of the first trades I had on, I said I didn't love getting this type of thing right at 9:30, and this is going to be why. NVIDIA. I do take the breakdown, roll into it, out when it breaks a support level at 515, resistance level, I should say, at 515. Look, if I hang on to this stubbornly, there's no way I'm holding it through like 525 anyway, so I just lose an extra $10, $15 on that trade. And it's going to look like the idea was a good one, and I obviously probably should have revisited those same prices on the way down. There were shorts where I did have the good read on, but when we say I don't necessarily love it off the open, this is kind of what we mean. If you allow this to settle in and then catch it on the way down, those same prices that you liked before with momentum you can catch. Now, I get it, just like with KCAC, maybe I missed this on the way down. However, it's probably a higher percentage play. So if you're a little bit more risk averse, you can win a higher percentage if you go with the momentum, but you will give up some of those opportunities because you won't be able to catch it. Fading into it here at 9:30 guarantees you're going to get this short. It just doesn't mean you can hold it through if that's your entry point. And that's what we mean by that 9:30. Get in right away. You might not be able to have that conviction that I could have had at 9:40. It's already 11:35, and it's Friday. That means we have a guest trader of the day. Let's go to Brendan and get the introductions.
Yes, indeed, it is Friday. That means Guest Trader of the Daytime, brought to you by Lewis Daniels Watches. Everyone coming on from July through to October, getting a Lewis Daniels watch. Thank you to Lewis Daniels Watch for bringing us this segment. John Soderstrom joining us today for Guest Trader of the Day for the first time on the show. Good to have, do we have John with? There he is. Hey, John, how's it going today? It's been an exciting day so far. What have you been looking at?
I've been mostly messing with KCAC. It's been treating me good the past 2 days.
Yeah, it's hard not to look at that stock when it's doing this kind of volume. I mean, impressively strong, to say the least, since the news yesterday. Obviously, the volume there. Coming back in, though, as Neil just said at the moment. I'll throw you back over to Neil here.
All right.
I'm glad we got you on here because obviously I'm going to sit here and I literally just covered the first real successful. I had a one decent short on this one. The first real successful short I had was just now, and it dumped twice as far as I actually expected it to. So a couple of things here. Obviously, you're trading this name today. It's been good to the long side both days. Have you only been going one direction, or is it something you can or look to short as well?
Yeah, because I mostly go long on stuff. Like I try to do short on a few things, and it asked me too many questions to get to where I actually get to the point where I can sell it. Have to like click on this trade, tap the amount, then I have to review order, then I have to click this other thing to do for a short, then it goes down to place order, then it finally places the order for a short. So it's just too many steps for me to go through to get to it. By the time I get to it, it's already past its point.
Yeah, I mean, as you say that, I mean, I was just talking about it on the show, and like, I got direct market access here, and I got, great stop orders, routing keys, everything you can imagine, and I can still miss successive short side trades on this stock, the way it was coming to the downside. So I understand that certainly. When it comes to some of these high-flying names, I mean, obviously, we put out a watch list. You guys can all see that for free. Do you have a methodology for picking the names that you will play on a given day? Obviously, KCAC, it's a volume spike. It's a gap up the last couple of days. There's some news related to it. So lots of ways that it could come to your attention. What's your way of finding the names that you will be heavily trading on any given day?
There's a lot of times I'll follow y'all and what y'all are doing, and then sometimes on the little chat room I'll see someone bring up something, and I might click on one of those and see how they're doing, and just try to pay attention to the news a little bit and just see how it plays out. But mostly just look for ones with a lot of volume that day, and that's gonna move, or hopefully it's gonna move in the right direction for me. But that don't always happen.
No, I mean, you can't win on everything, but I'll say this right now. You can't go wrong sort of going with volume. We try to, on our watch list, limit the amount of names that are on low volume. If it's big news, if it's a good company with a strong market cap that has a catalyst, then yeah, sure, it'll go on there. But volume is going to be king because, why develop a strategy if you can't scale it? And some of these stocks, I'll pull it up and be like, hey, that's a great looking chart. I like the action, but I'll give an example on KCAC. I mean, what if there was no volume on this move down through 22? I'm not going to be able to get into some shares. There's going to be the follow through. There needs to be interest. People need to be trading it. There need to be some winners and losers you're trading against. Otherwise, sort of what is the point to all this action and activity? You got to have that volume first. I don't know if we did ask you, where are you calling from here? Just out of curiosity.
Houston, Texas.
Somehow, I guessed that by a little bit. So I do hope you take some of your profits and roll into a little bit of a legitimate barbecue, because I feel like that's... I mean, I went to Dallas one time, and I keep saying it. Literally one of the best things I've ever had was getting authentic barbecue there. I got it was unbelievable brisket, and I had those like meat sweats going on after. It was the greatest thing in the world. And I checked out the rodeo, which was a heck of a lot of fun for me.
You went to the Dallas rodeo, not the Houston rodeo.
No, it was in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay,
not
because the Houston rodeo is the biggest barbecue cook-off there is, and if you win that, you basically won the biggest in the world.
So,
I think Memphis also
Memphis does
big for barbecue.
Yeah, Memphis, yeah, they're known for it. I mean, you'll see like Memphis style barbecue rubs in the store, stuff like that. So, you don't see too many, you don't see like Oklahoma style or something like that, or something off, but it's usually, Texas style, and Tennessee, they're known for the barbecue, but like a place like New York is like pizza, and Chicago is pizza. So
everyone's got to be known for something here. I think in Canada we have something called a beaver tail. So it's like a pastry that looks like a beaver tail, and then you can add different sweets on it if you have a sweet tooth. That's pretty cool. If you're ever back here in Canada, check that out, John. But it looks like you're a pretty well-built guy. Part of what we talk about all the time is sticking to routines. Do you have a routine? Right. Maybe you go to the gym before you start to trade, or something like that that can sort of get your mind right and get you focused for the day trading. Do you do anything like that maybe some of our viewers can tune into and sort of maybe use you as an example, like Neil and I chugging the waters here, and with workout routines as well? Anything like that for you?
No, I don't have I don't go to the gym, like run 5 miles or something like that, ambitious like that. But I don't get to trade too much during the week because I'm at work. I mean, like usually on a Friday, I'm off on a Friday, so that's like my big trade days. So
cool.
That's where I spend most of my time trading, is on a Friday. But during the week, it's hard for me to do because, I might buy into one, then all of a sudden they'll call me out, and all of a sudden I got to leave. Then I got to either sell it right then or just hope it does good by the time I get back. But I mean, I've had times I won't be around a computer for 3 or 4 hours at a time. So that's your whole show.
Yeah. I gotta ask you, because if you do most of your trading on Friday, so is it going to be strictly day trading? Obviously, there's going to be a difference holding overnight for swing trades. If you do it intra-week, some people like to do that whole buy Monday, Tuesday, sell at the end of the week kind of thing. Especially you have options expirations weekly. Is this something where you're only day trading on Fridays? Did you ever hold over the weekend any of your positions there?
Well, I have before, and because I bought and it went down a little bit. Then I was like, it'll come back up. That I was held it over the weekend, and it did come up. And every time I've done that, I've made a couple $100. But then I've done it twice, 2 or 3 times. I made a couple $100. Then I've done it 2 or 3 times and lost several $1,000s. Yeah. So to me, I don't like holding overnight anymore. It hurts me more than it's saved me.
I'll tell you this right now. If you learn a lesson like that for a few thousand, that's a heck of a lot better than, you see people blowing out accounts for like 10 grand. You got to find your own spot, right? And I think if you're going to be trading on the Fridays and it's day trading that works for you, or short-term trading, you can always work up to these other styles. And I think, we sort of emphasize this. It's about the learning more than anything else. And speaking of learning, I do want to jump back into the market just briefly here. I did talk about Carnival Cruise Lines trying to break back to the upside. Just worth noting, sort of an interesting area here on American at 13.25. And I understand, of course, you're going to get the president talking. Anything that happens with stimulus related, this is going to be in play. Keep your ear to the ground. But this does look like a good turning point here at 13.25. If American can get back to the upside here, it's also very close to where it would be positive on the session at 13.36. So a couple of things working. I'm looking for a few names. We're trying to consolidate at the bottom on the ES, and the same thing is happening positively on the NASDAQ. But the ES is sort of struggling to get back up to that 3,400 mark. If it does, I want to have some plays on board that maybe are for the afternoon. And American through 13.25 does look like it could be one of those. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I want to have some long ideas. Can't be all shorts today, right, Sean? It could.
No, it can't be all shorts today, but maybe it should be all shorts today. We got destroyed on our Apple shorts, but we're back short again, and boom, there it is, taking the profits off. Look, when this market moves like this, you got to be ready. This does remind me, obviously, a little bit about March times. I mean, we used to be moving on the ES there, John, like 2, 3, 4% a day, and it's now we got back-to-back jacks here the last couple days, just making moves to the downside. Were you trading at all during that, I guess, February to June type of time frame?
Well, right around that time, I've never been in the stock market. I always thought you had to have a bunch of money to get in the stock market. And then someone told me about penny stocks. I'm like, well, hell, I can afford that. So that's what got me into trading. I did that right in, I think, right in February or April, right as the crash was. I might have done it in March. Then I saw like Carnival Cruise Lines. I saw it was like normally $60 stock. Then it was at showing it was at like $10. I'm like, man, if it just goes up to just $50 a stock, I'll make 5 times my amount of money.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, I went to a bank and got a bank loan for $10,000. Went to another loan place, got a loan for another $3,000, and just put everything I could in there. I've been working my way up, and because I have to have a certain amount in my account to day trade.
Right. Because you guys are under that
can't just
PDT rule, right?
Yeah, and so I finally got to that point. And as soon as I got that point, where I got past it, I just made like 3 or 4 day trades real quick, bash out, buy, sell, just to become the day trader. I didn't even know what I was even buying or selling. I just wanted to become a day trader. Then once I became a day trader, I was able to trade, but I didn't know that. I thought day trades, you bought one in the morning and sold in the afternoon, and that was it.
Right. Yeah, no, there's so much more involved. And I was going to give you an advice, obviously, the rest of our viewers as well. Make sure, if you haven't yet, John, check out our Market Wisdom channel, because there's a lot of different techniques there, especially Neil and I have been day traders now, like we keep saying, for 30x years on this. So hopefully we can help you guys out and all of your trader friends and families as well. Are you part of any trading groups at all? There's a lot of people always looking for maybe Facebook groups or whatever that, or some of your friends you mentioned as well, talking to you about some penny stocks and whatnot. Anything like that? If so, if you could please share our program, that would be great. But are we one of the only resources you use, or is there anything else that you check maybe on a daily basis?
Well, I don't follow any big Facebook groups or anything like that. I mean, y'all's chat room throws me enough stuff to look at right now. And the way I kind of stumbled into finding y'all is once I became a day trader status, I was like, let me figure out how to day trade. And so I clicked on day trade on YouTube, and I fumbled my phone, and it landed on y'all. And it was like you saying, winner, winner, chicken dinner, bang, who's your boy Floss? I'm like, what is this? Started watching it. Then it was like, oh, they're talking about stocks. And I saw you, the stock was crashing. And you're like, oh, 50-cent winner, 60-cent winner. I'm like, how is he making money? It's crashing. I didn't know there was such thing as a short sale. So the first 2 days I watched y'all, I was totally lost. Then finally I looked up, I heard y'all say short and long. I'm like, YouTube short and long sell. And I was like, oh, right. I watched y'all for about 3 or 4 days before I made any trades. Then once I started trading, I jumped into my first week of day trading. I was buying Neo and Workhorse, about 1,000 shares a hit. Amazing story there. Thank you for that. I think a lot of people are the same way. That's why we have a video, what is short selling? We have that exact video. And John, I don't know if you've ever been to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, but if you ever are, I'll personally invite you onto the floor. Let's go grab a beer and talk more trading. You've been a fantastic guest, and all of our guests today will be getting a Lewis Daniels watch. So we'll be in touch with you about that one. You deserve it today. Great little talk there. Great advice and on your experiences as well. Give it back to Brendan. What's up?
I just noticed, guys, some of the retail group is holding up a little bit better than the overall market here. Gap just stumbled upon Gap here, holding 1720. UBS with a price target increase on Gap today, so that one's higher. If you have a look at Macy's to compare, new day lows just made on Macy's. That one down 3%, but GPS holding up a little bit, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing here, because I think one of the exercises you do want to put on is in case the market bumps up, you've seen us try to find some names that are leveling off that look relatively strong. And Gap could be that one. I was just looking at a few others, but yeah, I like this Gap play here, potentially through like a 1750. I mean, I wouldn't buy this necessarily right now. But again, as a day trade, I don't want to be too, so I guess, overly biased to the short side trade. It is a holiday on Monday, so you do have Labor Day coming through. A lot of the action was we said a lot of the action was going to likely be right at that open during the time of our show, and maybe it could be a muted afternoon. That could mean a rebound in some of these stocks as the sellers have done their selling and have gone away for that long weekend. So file a couple of these away. Volume spike just now as well in GPS, so I'd look at more like a 1750, get above VWAP, keep it rather simple, and just look for some small-time trades to the upside on those. Just sort of speaking to, if you're only one of the resources you use is us, we, of course, are 9 to 12 here. You talk about having another job. Do you trade the afternoon at all? Is that something you do, or do you just sort of end when we do, taking advantage of the action in the morning?
I mean, if I see some big movements, I'll jump in. But usually, about after y'all go off, it's just like a dead flat line on some of them, but some do move a lot in the afternoon. But if I see something still moving and there's an opportunity, I'll stay in it. But if it's all flat during the day, and I'm just kick out of it and just be like, all right, I'm gonna go do some fun.
You got to have some fun, that's for sure. Speaking of fun, KCAC, I mean, has been a wild ride here. I'm just watching it come back in this 21 level. I mean, this is where I got out of my one successful short. I mean, I did have a winner earlier. I just don't really think it was very successful in terms of an overall trade execution. So this 21 level where I got out, it does look like we're range bound here. If it fails to get back through, just remember where this stock has come from. A rollover could get deeper. There's all kinds of support at 16 to 17, so that's a much stronger base if it does fall any further. So I'm still looking at, so if it can't break this 21 to the upside, I'd look to see if it can't take out the bottom here, like 19.50 or so for some afternoon shorts. If it does break up, I'm likely to wait till like 22.50 or so to jump into any kind of a long trade. So just getting some ideas going for a name that I expect to still be active throughout the afternoon. It's done 37 million in volume. It's been good volume yesterday, good volume today. Hasn't tapered off as much as some other names. I will continue to watch KCAC in the afternoon today.
Yeah, KCAC, again, a big time volume mover. AMD, Apple, everything coming back to life. Apple now only down that 3.4%. So, look, this market looks like it wants to rally, especially some of these tech names. So, watch out for that. It's getting loud in here. Lunch has arrived, so we'll find out what's going to happen with lunch today. Is it going to be chicken or salmon? No one ever knows. But yesterday wasn't chicken or salmon, was it? What was yesterday? Do you remember, Neil?
It was a salad, or wasn't it?
Oh, like, chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick on a salad.
So there you go.
Chicken.
Okay, yeah, things getting loud. We'll see what's happening. Only 10 minutes left. John, I'll give you an opportunity right now, if you wanted to give any shout-outs to any friends or family, anything like that out there that you want to give a shout-out to. Go ahead, my friend.
I'll just give a shout-out to all of y'all and everyone that's behind you making this thing run. I mean, that's the big shout-out.
Booyah, that's fantastic. We'll throw some
I have to do this because, Sean, you know this. There's one graphic that we have, and I was waiting for somebody to actually be from Houston so that I could maybe throw this down and sort of ignore the puke that you see here. But I've said this does not look like me, and it looks like somebody else. I'm just curious if you can identify who you think that graphic looked like.
Depends if he watches football.
Do you watch any football?
I've already made the call on who that was.
Okay, so yeah, the quarterback of the Houston Texans. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys on our production team, maybe we're looking at that instead of me when you made that graphic. So that's why I don't use it too much. But it looks like Deshaun Watson. I don't look like that, guys. And hopefully I never actually puke on the show. It is what it is. Hopefully that'll never happen. I do want to jump quickly. We only have about 7 minutes left, guys, in the market. I have not made a single trade in Tesla, and I want to tell you sort of one of the reasons why I stayed away from it. And yesterday, it was a lot of sideways action. I forced to trade on it simply because I'd been doing well the last couple of sessions on it. Today, it did actually give a trade that I should have liked. And ultimately, I got away from this one. This was exactly at the open when a lot of other names were giving short entries. It took out 420 and then failed break and then came right back in. That's a re-entry to the short that usually I'll have, but because I had stepped away from it after an unsuccessful day before, I stuck to what I liked better. You got to pick and choose on a day like this. You can't hit everything. It's not going to be possible unless you're an algorithm in a computer, which we're not, obviously. I'm hitting the keys myself. I got to limit the number of names. That's the only reason Tesla was not traded today, not because of a lack of opportunity. Certainly, there were some shorts here that we could have had and got our pink short on Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, you're short Tesla right now?
No, I said we could have got our pink short.
Right.
We didn't today, though.
Yeah. Tesla making the move back to the north side right now. Also, NIO coming close to VWAP here, so we'll take a shot on the sell side here of NIO and see if we can't retrace somewhere all the way back to the downside here on NIO. We'll see if this one wants to go for us now upside. Hopefully not, as we go short. All of these little indicators right here, anytime you see an arrow down, it's purple, but if it's a down arrow, you know that that's a short. So right now we're short ahead of 35. That was that top there. I like this trade. Let's see if NIO can't make some moves back to the downside right now. But this market retraces very nicely today back to the same spot right here. This is where we turned around last time. If we're going to be strong this afternoon, this is where we got to hold, man. 33, basically 90, call it 3,400 if we can get up to that, and then we'll see a move back. We were on that jobs number. And I don't think President Trump has spoken yet, Brendan or Neil. If you know, then let me know. But
so.
34.80 was the top before we fell about 120 handles. Now trying to make that move back, and we just took out that top. So that's a good little spot there to know if you're going to break. You got to break 33.88, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's only about 4 minutes to go. And obviously, it's been a lot of fun. I've seen even in the chat some love there for you, John. So it's always fun for us to do this segment. You get traders from all different sort of backgrounds, levels of experience. And, for us, a lot of the fun of doing it is we like to trade, as you can probably see here. But Sean and I have both, trained, risk managed, hired traders. So the teaching aspect is something that we've always done. And that's what's fun here. So, obviously, we always say one of the best things you can do, the likes and subscribes are fantastic, but sharing it and growing the community, because I find I'm missing stocks all the time. Every now and then you guys will point something out that I'm like, yeah, that does fit what I'd like to look for. So growing that community can be a help. You say you look at our lists here for ideas. The bigger the community, the less you'll miss. It's a big and broad market, and there's always something going on there, guys. So I'm still watching this American, just to get back to the market for a little bit. There was that break. I was looking at 13.25. As Sean said, the market was getting up. It doesn't quite get that breakout. So still looking for an opportunity for it to break long. Not quite there yet on American. I still will look for that one maybe in the afternoon. Just hasn't happened for us yet.
Okay, yeah, only 3 minutes to go now as we look. The only position I have on right now, I have a short on AMD, but that's small. I'm waiting to get shorter on some of these names as we go. AMD, the futures look like they may be starting to come back a little bit here. So AMD's right at this VWAP spot. So if you're going to go short right now, I think this is okay. And then you can use the top here, 81, as kind of your kill spot there if you're going to short anything right now. And AMD might be one of the ones to look at just because it's traveled so much today, man. Down to 76, all the way back to 81. You could have a decent little short spot here. 80.25 possibly on an AMD break downside, but we are trying to build into a Neo short. We just took some 44s. We're right at this VWAP, giving it to 50, guys. Neo short right now and looking to build on AMD as well.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about here, guys. You got to have some ideas for the afternoon. I'm not even anticipating that it's going to necessarily be fireworks in the afternoon. I'll leave you with sort of one more here. The reason why in Broadcom I took it out in front of VWAP, and again, yeah, it was a stronger name. If the market bounced, certainly it could get a little bit higher. But if I'm going to be counter trend, whether that's shorting to the upside some of these stocks, or whether it's going long in a down market like today, I feel like you can never go broke taking profits. So if there's one thing that I can leave you with here, all of you guys, in addition to yourself there, John, it's that, sometimes by managing risk or taking profits like you'll see us do on the way up, you're going to give up having everything for that monster win. But it's all about living to fight another day. It's all about being consistently profitable. It's something we preach, especially if you're starting out. And that's why I said to you, if you can learn from some of those mistakes that aren't monstrous, that's the best way to go. I love your approach and your attitude, John. I think that's what you got to do. Make sure you're learning every single day as a trader, limiting your risk, of course, where you can. We need to get to Brendan before we get out of here just one more time. Only about a minute left.
Hey guys, yeah, a couple minutes to go here before we wrap things up. Just keep in mind, I know everyone's well aware, but Monday is a holiday. We will not be here. We are here every single day that the market is open. Monday, a holiday. Everyone enjoy the long holiday weekend. No earnings as a result of the long weekend aftermarket tonight or before the open on Tuesday. So nothing to show as far as earnings coming up, but we do, however, have what day it is today, and I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised. Valeria, tell us about it.
Yeah, what's up, Brendan? And hey, John, thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you all the luck on your trading path and a wonderful weekend. Trading family, thank you very much again for 2,000 likes, for all the support. Welcome all the new members and all the new subscribers. I wish you also a great weekend. We will see you on Tuesday. And for now, go watch our next educational video at the link I'm sending on the chat. And happy Chianti Day, everyone.
Chianti there.
Only if it's with liver and fava beans. I think that's the best way to go. And if you guys know what that reference is from, I'd be actually impressed. I'm dating myself a little bit there, but a nice little Chianti. I actually told Brendan this, that I really need to have some wine yesterday. I didn't. Tonight, maybe it'll be a Chianti. I actually do have one in the wine fridge. Is that something you enjoy a little bit there yourself, John?
Yeah, I do. I do like red ones. I don't do white ones, but I do like red ones. I like ones that are aged in whiskey barrels. Those are my favorites.
Yeah. You know what? Definitely.
He's going there.
Sean said you can come here and have a beer. I feel like you visit Toronto, we can make that happen as well. So look, it's been.
I brewed beer for maybe 2 or 3 years straight. Just brewed beer every weekend. Craft beer.
Okay, you're killing me here. So now you really do have to come visit it. Maybe we need to get down to Houston because, like I said, I like the rodeo. So if I'm ever down there, I'm going to have to look you up there. I will not cheer for your local football team. That's just not going to happen.
I won't either.
I won't cheer for Dallas, and I won't cheer for Houston because I'm a diehard Bills fan. But look, it's been a lot of fun. I want to thank you for coming on the program. Best of luck in all of your trading, of course. And for the entire team, I got to go down the line in just a quick second. But before I do that, I want you guys all to check out this video on our Market Wisdom page. It's about trading terms. You do hear Sean, Brennan, and I talk quickly. The market is moving. You want to learn the lingo. If you're going to learn anything, any vocation or anything, you got to understand the terminology, what experts are talking about, what everybody is talking about. That's why we did this video on our Market Wisdom channel. So make sure you check that one out. Valeria has the link. Speaking of Valeria, down the line, for Valeria, for Sean, for Brendan, and myself, Neil Roberts, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you next week, Tuesday. Thanks, John.